RamiX back with another video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, share the video to a friend who likes what ifs or just anime content in general. Comment down below your thoughts and feelings about the video or any what if suggestions that you may have. And with that being said, we can now begin the video. What if Naruto was a mercenary? Part 1. Now, it could be the movie depending on how you are watching this video, but for the sake of it, this is part 1. Now, how exactly does Naruto, the knuckle-headed ninja, become a mercenary? So in this timeline, Naruto is going to have an uncle that he does not have in the original timeline. Not only is he going to have an uncle, but his uncle is going to be a renowned shinobi with a secret. And you'll understand what I mean in a second. His uncle is going to be named Juno Namikaze, and he is going to be known as the 4th Hokage's younger brother. Not only is Juno going to be a renowned shinobi, but at the time when Minato was being considered for the position of Hokage, Juno would also be being considered for the position of Hokage. Now, the thing about that is that Juno couldn't become Hokage because he was far too young. At the time when Minato was, becoming Hokage, Juno was 6 years younger than Minato. Which means if Minato was around 20 years old when he became Hokage, or at least it's theorized that he was in his early 20s, then Juno was about 14, 15, so it didn't even make sense, and he was far too young to lead an entire village. With that being said, what I'm trying to say is, the same way that Fugaku was being considered, Minato was being considered, even Orochimaru was being considered, Juno was up there too. He would be known as the Red Fang of the Leaf, similarly to Kakashi Hatake's father, Sakumo Hatake, the White Fang. Now, with that being said, when Minato died, Juno was a full-blown adult, meaning that he was 18 years old. When Minato died, he was 24. With that being said, that means that he could fully adopt Naruto, and on the night of the Nine-Tails attack, not only is Kakashi going to be protecting Kushina, not only is Hiruzen going to be there for Minato's basically final breaths, but also Juno will be. Juno, Kakashi, and Hiruzen are all going to find themselves in the area with Minato and Kushina in their final breath. As Minato seals half of the Nine-Tails into himself, and the other half into Naruto, into a baby Naruto, Minato begs Juno to raise his son. Juno, what is it, big brother? I've got something to tell you. Well, spit it out already. It looks like you're not long for this world. Yeah, it seems that way. Why'd you have to go and do that, big bro? You always told me that you'd stick around to see me take your place as Hokage. And now, here you are in your deathbed. Yes, if I could have it some other way, I would. But it seems that we were unprepared to deal with Madara Uchiha. That's the thing. Do you really think that it was Madara who attacked tonight? Out of all the shinobi, Madara Uchiha, the one who should be dead? Who fought alongside Hashirama Senju? Yes, that's the only man who would be capable of doing all of this. And you know that well enough. Yes, but I'm still on the fence about it. I don't think it's Madara. Juno, I know, we don't have time to bicker about if it's Madara or not. What is it that you need, big brother? I need you to raise Naruto for me. Juno paused. You mean me? You realize I just became an adult. Yes, I understand that a kid has a lot of responsibility. I also understand that you never wanted kids in the first place. Not only that, I continuously have told you throughout our entire lives that I never even want a family, and you expect me to raise some child? I know. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to put all of this burden on my little brother. Minato began to profusely cough up blood. Juno stared at him intently. Half of his face showed anger, the other half showed sadness. Minato grew up with Juno and practically raised him. So Minato was basically the only person he truly cared about in his life. And now he was watching Minato die right in front of him. Juno. I understand. I will raise Naruto. If that's really what you want, then consider it done. He'll be taken care of. He'll know how important his mother was, and how much of a great shinobi his father was. He'll know the things that both of you did to protect the village. Kushina smiled gently at Juno, whispering thank you. Most of her strength had begun to fade. Minato then continued. There are a few things that you should know. Yes? What is it, big brother? If you don't mind, I've instructed a toad to carry Naruto's seal. To carry Naruto's seal? Yes. In other words, if you contact it, you will be able to release the Nine Tails. Now why on earth would I want to do that, big brother? If the village is ever to be protected from Madara Uchiha, we will need to be able to harness the power of the Nine Tails. You must teach Naruto how to control the power. Are you serious? You want me to teach Naruto how to control that monster? It's the only way. Is it? Is it really the only way, big brother? Yes. Now then. I'm trusting you with the rest. You didn't even tell me what toad. Just go to Mount Miyaboku. You've already mastered Sage Mode, haven't you? You say that like it's so difficult to find a toad. But brother! But what about... He realized that the life had faded from Minato. The Reaper had taken its cost. Juno, Kakashi, and Hiruzen sat in silence. The silence broke as Juno began approaching a baby Naruto, taking him from the arms of a fading Kushina, and using the body flicker jutsu to disappear. He now sat with Naruto in a nearby desolate training ground. He and Minato had trained here several times as they grew up, but he had never imagined being here without Minato. It was their spot. Now a baby Naruto was here. A baby? Minato expects me to care for a goddamn newborn? Are you serious? Always putting burdens on me. Is that why you made me join the Anbu? To teach me how to be a better parent? That doesn't even make sense. You probably had this plan the whole time. You knew you were gonna die as soon as Naruto was born and then stick him on me. Huh. Payback for... Juno realized how delusional he sounded. Of course Minato didn't want this. Of course Minato wanted to be the one to raise his son. Of course Minato wanted to be there for his child. He then soon began to accept his responsibility. After his realization, he quickly pulled out a piece of paper that he kept in a side bag, as he began to write a formal message to the third Hokage. Dear Lord Third, I am submitting my official resignation from the Anbu Black Ops. During my time, I've went on over 203 different Anbu missions, with a success rate of 97%. It has been an honor to serve the Leaf Village as a member of the Anbu. But I am now requesting to resign. Because of this, I understand that certain privileges that I have as being an Anbu will be taken away from me. I do not expect to continue receiving pay, but I will continue to serve as a Jonin, if possible. I will also be adopting Naruto. I wish to honor my brother in any way that I can, and raising Naruto is the best way to do that. If you may have it, I wish to be the sole caregiver, or rather, caretaker of Naruto Uzumaki. I wish to be the only one who teaches him, trains him, and I wish for him not to join the Standard Academy program. As Minato's son, I hope that you entrust me to train him, and once he is finally trained up and eligible to become a genin or join a ninja squad, you accept. Juno wasn't really good with words, but he wrote out the message as best he could, touching on many other things that there's no need to say. With that being said, he ended up sending the message to Lord Third as quick as he could using the body flicker jutsu with a baby Naruto in his other arm and the note in the other, leaving the note posted on the outside of the Hokage glass so that Hiruzen would either see it coming back to the Hokage office or see it while he's literally in and just looks out and sees that there's a paper literally on the window. With that being said, a few years would pass, and on the outskirts of the hidden Leaf Village, a secluded compound nestled in the dense forest housed two figures. The elder of the two, a man with striking red hair and piercing eyes. On his back was a Tonto blade, and on his side he wielded another sword. The man had an elegance that betrayed his brutal moniker. The man was known as Juno the Red Fang, and beside him was a young boy with unruly blonde hair and blue eyes, and even whiskers, that watched intently. They both stared at a fire that was sat in front of them as they absorbed every moment together. Juno then stood up as he began to slightly train, practicing his swordsmanship. Naruto continued watching the fire, and then his eyes darted to watching Juno. He absorbed every movement, every nuance of the man's technique. This boy was Naruto Uzumaki, raised not by the village, but by his enigmatic uncle, Juno Namikaze. Juno was half Uchiha and half Namikaze, a secret that was kept even from the highest ranks of Konoha. His mastery of both swordsmanship and chakra control made him a formidable Jonin and Anbu operative. Yet beyond his fearsome reputation laid a man devoted to the upbringing of his nephew, ensuring Naruto was not only a skilled mercenary, a skilled ninja, a skilled shinobi, a man of honor, but also aware of his heritage and the burden that he carried as the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki. "Naruto," Juno called out, sheathing his deep breath and focus. "Your chakra control is the foundation of everything we do." Naruto nodded, his young face serious beyond his years. He had spent his childhood training under Juno's rigorous guidance, honing his skills far from the watchful eyes of the village. "Yes, Uncle Juno," Naruto replied, his voice steady. Juno watched his nephew with a mixture of pride and caution. He knew the immense power locked within Naruto, the nine-tailed fox that had brought so much destruction and had taken the life of his sister-in-law and his very own older brother. Juno had had taken it upon himself to teach Naruto control, to harness the beast's power rather than be consumed by it. There has now been a short time skip of just a few months, and Naruto is 7 years old. Naruto is a pretty strong 7-year-old for the most part. Now, as far as his strength goes, I want you guys to not think that it's that outlandish For example, Kakashi graduated from the academy when he was 5, the 3 Sannin when they were 6, Itachi when he was 7. Like, you can be very young and very strong, and I would put Naruto at, like, comparable to how strong Itachi was when he was a kid. A kid, not, like, when he was, like, 14 or, like, when he was carrying out the massacre or anything like that. Now, with that being said, Naruto has been taught many things by Juno, but one evening, Juno decided to have an important conversation with Naruto. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over their training ground, Juno sat with Naruto by the fire. Tonight was not about training, but about sharing stories of the past. Naruto, Juno began, his voice softening. There's something important I need to tell you about your father. Naruto's eyes widened with curiosity. He had always known his father was a great ninja, but Juno had rarely spoken of him in detail, at least not at this point. Juno took a deep breath in. Your father, Minato Namikaze, was known as the 4th Hokage. Juno continued. He was a genius, better than I ever was. Better than you? Are you serious? Absolutely. He was chosen to lead the village over I. You wanted to become Hokage, Uncle Juno? It was a dream. Briefly, yes. Is that a problem? No, I'm just surprised is all. Well, don't be. Actually, he was a hero of the Great Ninja War. The enemy gave him a run-on-sight order because of his incredible speed and strength. He was the Yellow Flash of Konoha, the Yellow Flash of the Leaf. Naruto's eyes sparkled with awe. I want to be just like him, Uncle Juno. I want to surpass him and become Hokage one day. Juno placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder, his gaze intense. You have the potential, Naruto. But remember, the path to greatness is filled with difficult choices and sacrifices. There's a reason that I don't stand here today as the 5th Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. In the absence of my elder brother, as much as I had wanted to become Hokage, I was too faint-hearted. I chose you over the village. Do you understand that? You mean you gave up your dream for me? I don't want that. Follow your dreams, Uncle Juno. Naruto, it's far too late to change my mind. And even if Hiruzen did randomly decide he wanted to step down and let me take his place, not only are there many other Jonin around the village that could be better suited, heck, there's always Jiraiya, Kakashi, you get the point. But the fact is, I don't want the job anymore. I made Minato a promise to raise you. I wouldn't be able to do that as Hokage. It's just not possible. I will spend every waking moment I have training you to be better, because that was the promise I gave to my brother. So it's not about what you want, Naruto. I promised your father this. I will make right on it as his younger brother. I understand, Uncle Juno, but still, it sucks that you have to abandon your dream just to take care of me. Yes, it is quite unfortunate, the way in which the world works. Anyways, I have something important to tell you, Naruto. You see, Juno was an interesting man. Many people suspected things of him, but it wasn't until one mission where Juno had believed that there were no survivors that Juno's secret had been revealed to someone high up within Konoha. You see, Danzo had secretly infiltrated the actual Anbu Black Ops unit outside of his route. Meaning that he had someone who was in the regular Anbu Black Ops unit, but was secretly working for him en route. This person was telling Danzo, this Anbu, whose name was Shimura, was telling Danzo basically everything about Juno and just relaying information. Of course, Danzo wanted to know about the Hokage's younger brother, just like anyone would want to know, right? Just in this case, Danzo has a fascination with him, and suspects, because of his very, very well proficiency in Genjutsu, that's something that Juno specializes in. Because of that, he assumes he might be an Uchiha, secretly be an Uchiha. Keep in mind, his hair is black and not blonde like Minato's. They have the same mother, but not the same father. With that being said, Minato never let the secret get out. And Juno hadn't either. But on a mission where he had presumed that all of his fellow Anbu had fallen, he had to use his Sharingan to basically win the fight and, well, kill his attackers. But it had appeared that one of the Anbu had actually seen Juno, if that makes sense, and had relayed this information back to Danzo. With that being said, there were now eyes on him all the time, basically 24/7, and he realized this. With that being said, he continued speaking to Naruto. Now, you see, Naruto, both you and I are very important. My secret is that I am from the Uchiha clan. You mean the one that you were teaching me about the other day? They have the Sharingan and whatnot? Exactly. The problem is that nobody knows about it, and nobody should know about it. It would cause too much tension in the village. Multiple Uchiha in the Anbu, me, Shisui, Itachi. Trust me, it wouldn't be, well, it wouldn't be optimal per se. People would start getting suspicious. Oh, alright. Well, what's the big thing about me then? I don't think that you realize how important it is that you are the Jinchuriki of the village. The fate of this village constantly rests in your hands. If you abandon the Leaf Village, they would lose much of their physical power and be outweighed by the stronger Cloud Village. Oh, I see. So I maintain the balance. Precisely. That's why learning how to control this power is so crucial. And to defeat a certain someone. Juno was referring to who he believed to be Madara Uchiha or someone else, but wasn't certain and didn't want to necessarily unpack that can of beans on Naruto just yet. With that being said, he continued. There are people who watch me in the village. They don't know what my goal is or what my aim is. I am the one who's raising the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. And I have a cloudy past. What? What do you mean? When I was younger, like, much younger, I was a mercenary. I did a lot of bad things to a lot of good people. I was a bandit too at one point. Most of the time, I would just drink booze and, well, collect ransom money on basically anyone. I would go from small village to small village, gathering up the civilians and making them pay a tax, or doing just about any scam I could get my hands on with a bunch of, well, at the time, comrades. Minato, like the good big brother he was, got me out of that kind of life. Made me sane again. You see, Minato never really knew his father, but I did. My father had ran away from the village. He didn't want any part to do with the Uchiha clan, and he ended up marrying a woman who was not from any notable clan. Oh, I see. The thing was, eventually, my father died. We had a really strong connection, though. He was the only person who really got me. Not even like my mother could. It was more than that, you know? We connected spiritually almost. And when he passed, I lost a part of myself. Anyways, eventually I ended up, well, for lack of a better word, falling off the rails because of it. Minato pulled me out of the darkness. He didn't have to do that. He was my mother's child. A few years before I was born. My father took care of him, but, well, when he died, someone else came along. His name? Well, I just called him Father. But he was Kalula Namikaze, our father. You mean to tell me that Minato Namikaze isn't really his name? No. Minato Namikaze is not his name. His name is Minato Hyuga. What? Yeah. Does that make me a Hyuga? Yes, it does. But that's besides the point, and we'll talk about that another day. The fact is, Minato took who our mom was seeing at the time and married's last name. And so I did too, and he raised us like we were both his own. And that's why I now go by Juno Namikaze. But, as you can tell, I have quite the suspicious history. Juno began to yawn. And thus we're being watched. If there's ever a time when they suspect me of treason and try to execute me, I urge you to leave the village at all cost. What? But why? If they suspected something like that, they would believe that we were working together because of how close we are. Thus, they would think that you committed a similar sin and would rather have you locked up than leaving the village. That means that they would treat you as a prisoner. Are you serious? Yes. And believe me, you don't want to live that kind of life. I understand, Uncle Juno. So what should I do? Become a bandit like you? You shouldn't become a bandit. When I was a bandit, I was lousy, completely off the rails. I was much more level-headed when I spent my time as a mercenary. I would suggest being a mercenary, doing odd jobs here and there. There's a really popular mercenary that deserted the land of the mist. His name's Zabuzamomochi. If you ever learn what he does, I hear he makes a killing. I was always trying to compete with him. He was always going after all the people in the bingo books that I needed to catch heads with. But anyways, that's enough of a rant. Juno placed his hand on Naruto's shoulder. Like I said, you have the potential to do great things, Naruto. I see. Anyways. With that being said, some more time would pass, and Juno kept training Naruto again and again, until eventually, a couple more years had passed, and Naruto is now 9 years old. At this point, the Uchiha massacre has taken place. And in fact, this was the event that got Juno his Mangekyo Sharingan. Now that we're in the present moment, Naruto is 9 years old, we flash back to the night of the Uchiha massacre, when Naruto's about 7 to 8 years old. Juno was seeing someone from the Uchiha clan. Her name was Mahiko. Mahiko is a girl with short dark hair and a spirit like none other. Juno, like any reasonable man in his 20s and no love life, fell head over heels for her. She was so enigmatic that he just couldn't help it. And so he began to date her and love her, and they spent so much time together that they truly had been together. Talked about settling down one day as ninja and having kids. Juno felt a real connection with her. And so, while he was with her one night, she had to step out to run some errands and go to the Uchiha compound. Eventually, Juno got suspicious as she hadn't come back for hours and tracked her location, as he found her body dead and alone. Filled with rage, his Mangekyo Sharingan activated, and although his Mangekyo was active, and although he had so much rage, instead of being able to fight, he was just overtaken with so many emotions that he physically passed out from just emotional exhaustion. And because of this, Obito and Itachi had believed that they had killed him, because it looked like he was dead. Looked like he was dead with his lover. They were never in the same spot, so when Itachi had come and seen them, he just thought, oh, Obito had killed them. And when Obito had saw them, he was like, Itachi had killed them. With that being said, they just never questioned it. And that's how he got his Mangekyo Sharingan. Anyways, we flash forward to the present moment. Naruto's now 9 years old. At this point, Sasuke's in the academy. Naruto is not, because, he's not. With that being said, I explained it earlier. I just hope you were listening. With that being said, Juno was acutely aware of the Nine Tails sealed within Naruto. From an early age, he did teach Naruto many things and how to tap into its power, to control it rather than to be controlled. One day, when Naruto was 7, their training took a dangerous turn. Juno had pushed Naruto to his limits, urging him to access more of the Nine Tails' chakra. In a moment of lost control, Naruto transformed, red chakra enveloping him as he entered a 5-tailed state and began to grow bones. Naruto, get a hold of yourself! Juno knew that he would have to access Sage Mode to keep up with Naruto's form. Either that or use his Sharingan. But Juno was no fool. He knew any time that he used his Mangekyo Sharingan, which he would be doing as he didn't ever want to underestimate the power of the Nine Tails, the thing that had taken out his own older brother, who he believed to be above any shinobi. But he also knew that overuse of the Mangekyo Sharingan would lead to blindness. With that being said, it was just a theory he had. But with that being said, and for the sake of the what if, we're going to say that he read it somewhere in some sort of book in a library. Anyway, he tells Naruto continuously to get a hold of himself, but Naruto just begins to slowly approach him, and thus, Juno activates his Sage Mode. Effortlessly, Juno enters Sage Mode, gathering enough nature energy, and clashing with a fully transformed 5-tailed state, Naruto. Naruto, you must hear me. Now, Sage Art, Earth Restraint. Juno would use an Earth-style jutsu that kept Naruto in place, ceasing him from being able to move. As he restrained Naruto, he continued to speak to him, as he then yelled out, Sage Art, Sealing Jutsu, 5 Tentagram Hellscape. Because of the fact that Juno had a relationship with Kushina, he knew that there was a chance that the Nine Tails could one day get out of control. The same reason that Minato had learned Sealing Jutsu for Kushina was a similar reason to why Minato had learned Sealing Jutsu for Kushina, so that he could help her, because that was someone he had cared about, and he also cared about the village and needed a way to protect it. And so he developed his Sealing Jutsu. With that being said, this Sealing Jutsu Sage Art makes the person who's it's affecting body turn in on itself, which would disrupt the path of something like the Kyuubi, and then he can tighten the chakra on the seal of the Kyuubi, or rather of the Reaper Death seal. And that's why it's called Hellscape, because it makes the person's body and the Nine Tails feel like hell. With that being said, not that he's actually used it on the Nine Tails, it was kind of something that he came up with on the fly that he had the basic understanding of. With that, his Sealing Jutsu began to work, and the Nine Tails began reverting back into Naruto. And then it sprouted once more. Naruto, focus! Juno shouted. But it was too late. Naruto lunged at Juno, his eyes wild with the fox's rage. Juno barely managed to deflect the attack as he was caught off guard. but not without consequence. Naruto's claws raked across Juno's chest, leaving a deep, jagged scar. Breathing heavily after, Naruto fell to his knees as he began to try and get a hold of himself, the transformation receding as he regained control. Tears streamed down his face. "Uncle Juno, I'm so sorry." Juno knelt beside him, wincing but unwavering. "This is why we train, Naruto. You need to master this power, not let it master you." At the age of 9, Naruto had made remarkable progress. Under Juno's guidance, he had learned to channel the Nine Tails' chakra with ease. Juno had also begun teaching him about wind chakra nature and the art of the sword. Wind chakra is unpredictable, like a storm, Juno explained. During one of their training sessions, but with control, it can become your greatest asset. Think of it this way. I use a sword because everything is a weapon. Pardon me? That doesn't even make sense, Uncle Juno. Think of it this way. You can punch with your hand, right? How I envision every part of my body is an extension of myself, weapons that I can use and bend to my will. My hand can just as easily be a weapon, just as the air around me can, and my sword. I see. So, the air around you can be transformed into an asset and act as an extension of yourself? Exactly. This way made sense to Naruto, as he practiced diligently, focusing on molding his chakra to enhance speed and power. Juno's teachings extended beyond just combat. He instilled in Naruto a sense of discipline and restraint, emphasizing that killing should always be a last resort, but is 100% necessary at times. You carry a great power, Naruto, Juno reminded him, but true strength lies in knowing when to use it and when to hold back. Just because someone spits in your face doesn't mean that they have to die. You should be able to laugh it off. The one who can do that is the one who truly wins any battle. The bond between Juno and Naruto was more than just that of a mentor and student. It was a deep familial connection that they both shared with one another. Uncle Juno, Naruto said one night. Keep in mind, Juno treated Naruto with a mixture of sternness and affection, pushing him to his limits while also providing the warmth and care of a father figure. Uncle Juno! Juno ignored Naruto on purpose as he continued to read his Make Out Paradise volume. Uncle Juno, stop reading that perverted book and answer me. What perverted book? I'm trying to learn some new jutsu. I'm looking at the rat sign and some other stuff. What's the matter, kid? Thank you for everything. I know I'm not easy to handle. Juno smiled, roughing up Naruto's hair. You're a handful, that's for sure, but you're also my nephew. You're the only family I've got. And I can't forget that I promised your father I'd take care of you. And you know I intend on keeping that promise until the day that I die. Naruto looked up at him with determination. You know I'll make you proud, Uncle Juno. I swear it. I'll become Hokage and protect the village just like my father did. Juno's eyes softened with pride. I know you will, Naruto. And I'll be with you every step of the way. As Naruto drifted off to sleep, Juno watched over him. His thoughts a mixture of hope and concern. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, but he had faith in Naruto. Together, they would face whatever came their way. And Naruto would one day achieve his dream, not just for himself, but for the legacy of his father and the teaching of his uncle, the Red Fang. And so, the young mercenary, or soon-to-be mercenary, Naruto Uzumaki continued his journey under the watchful eye and guidance of Juno Namikaze, preparing for the day he would return to the Hidden Leaf Village and claim his place as a true shinobi. And with that, this is the end of part 1 of the canonical series of my rendition of What If Naruto Was a Mercenary? And make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I hope you guys all enjoyed. This is one of my first videos back, so I'm kind of getting the flow back. I'm just trying to get back into the groove. But yeah, with that being said, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, share the video to your friends, like, suggest, or say the content in general. Comment down below your thoughts, feelings about the video. subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, this has been RamiX, and RamiX out. And with that, we now continue the story. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the training ground where Juno and Naruto sparred intensely. Jesus. The clang of their swords echoed through the clearing, each strike a testament to the bond that they had forged and the lessons that Juno had imparted on a young Naruto. Naruto's movements were fluid. They were precise. They were a reflection of all of the relentless training he had undergone under his uncle's watchful eye. Good, Naruto, Juno praised, deflecting a particularly strong strike. But remember, control is key. Power without control is meaningless. As they continued, Juno's thoughts drifted to a memory that never faded, no matter how many years passed. It was the night his brother, Minato, and his sister-in-law, Kushina, made the ultimate sacrifice. Juno remembered back to his conversation with Kushina and Minato, and how he promised that he would take care of a baby Naruto. He felt weirdly accomplished, and rightfully so. He had done exactly what he promised, and he was certain that Minato was proud of him. But, with that being said, he flashed back to Naruto and continued training him, as his focus returned to the presence, parrying Naruto's strike. His nephew had grown so much, both in skill and in spirit, and Juno couldn't help but feel a swell of pride. The memory of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki's last words had driven him every day, shaping the way that he raised and mentored Naruto. After their training that day, they sat and fried some fish over a small campfire, as Naruto panted heavily, tired from chopping wood and, well, the long day of training that happened before that. What were my parents like, Uncle Juno? Tell me another story, I want to hear one. Juno put his sword away and sat down on a nearby rock, motioning for Naruto to join him. Well, your father Minato was a remarkable man, a genius in every sense of the word. He was kind, brave, and always put others before himself. The village loved him, and he was known far and wide as the yellow flash of the leaf. Naruto listened intently, his eyes wide with admiration. And my mom? Juno smiled, a warmth in his eyes. Kushina was fiery and strong-willed, with a heart as big as the world. She loved fiercely and would do anything for those she cared about. You have her spirit, Naruto, her determination. Naruto looked down, his voice soft. I wish I could have known them. Juno placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. In a way, you do know them. They live on in you and in I. Naruto. Phew, bless you. Bless you? Uncle Juno, are you doing that thing where you sneeze and then say bless you to me? And even though it should be blessed, yes, I'm doing that thing. Anyways, don't interrupt me, Naruto. Like I said, in your strength, your kindness, and your resolve, that's where they live on within you. They believed in you, and they believed in me. They entrusted me to make sure that you knew this. Naruto looked up at him, his eyes filled with determination. I'll make them proud, Uncle Juno. I'll become Hokage and protect Konoha, just like my dad did. Juno nodded, his heart swelling with pride. I know you will, Naruto, and I'll be here every step of the way to help you achieve that. By the age of 9, Naruto was now a formidable young warrior, and under the tutelage of his uncle Juno Namikaze, his control over the Nine-Tails' chakra was impressive, and he had begun to master wind chakra and swordsmanship. One day, during a training session, Juno decided it was time to introduce Naruto to a powerful new ally. Today, Naruto, you will learn what is called the summoning jutsu, Juno said, holding out a scroll. This contract will allow you to summon powerful toads to aid you in battle. Naruto's eyes widened with excitement. Really? That's so cool. Juno unrolled the scroll, revealing a series of names written in blood. You'll be signing a pact with one of the toad spirits. His name is Gamara, a powerful toad known for his immense strength and wisdom. Now bite your thumb down, hard enough for it to spill blood, and sign your name. You got that? Naruto did as instructed. His blood sealed the contract, as he yelled out, "Summoning Jutsu!" slamming his hand down on the ground. A puff of smoke appeared, and before him stood Gamara, a large, imposing toad with a stern expression. "Who dares summon me?" Gamara boomed. "I did," Naruto replied confidently. "I am Naruto Uzumaki, and I want to learn from you, great toad." Gamara scrutinized Naruto before nodding approvingly. "Very well, young one. Let us see what you are capable of." After Naruto had learned the summoning jutsu, Juno had decided that it was time for Naruto to experience what life was like outside of the village. Over the next few years, Naruto and Juno traveled extensively, visiting various villages and honing their skills. Their journey took them all over the world, to the Hidden Sand Village, the Hidden Mist Village, and even the Hidden Cloud Village. Each presented new challenges and opportunities for growth. In the Hidden Sand Village, Naruto trained with Gaara, a fellow Jinchuriki. They shared stories of their struggles and formed a bond over their shared burden. Gaara, once a feared and isolate figure, found a kindred spirit in Naruto. What does that mean? It means that Naruto turned Gaara, we'll say, into a good person much earlier in the canonical timeline. In the Hidden Mist Village, Naruto learned about the 7 ninja swordsmen and their legendary blades. He trained with the locals, refining his swordsmanship and learning new techniques. This is when he began developing the water-style chakra nature. Their travels were not without peril, though. One fateful encounter would test Naruto and Juno like never before, and would also cause Juno to be wary. Keep in mind, something very important about Juno is that he has a sickness. Similarly to how Itachi has a sickness, Hashirama had a sickness. Yeah, we know. Kishimoto loves to nerf very, very powerful characters by giving them some sort of debilitating sickness or something that causes them to not be as strong as they could be or potentially should be. And the same goes here for Juno. Although he's obviously not a character that Kishimoto created and a character that I created, he is affected by a similar type of sickness that obviously slows him down and debilitates him. Naruto does not know about this. No one really knows about this. While traveling through a dense forest near the Hidden Mist Village, Juno and Naruto were ambushed by Juzo Biwa, a former member of the 7 ninja swordsmen and now a part of the Akatsuki. Juzo, wielding the massive sword, the Executioner's Blade, stood menacingly before them. "You're Juno the Red Fang, aren't you? And the boy's the Nine-Tails' Jinchuriki. Wouldn't that be right?" Juzo said with a smirk while staring at Juno. "I've been sent to capture the boy, so don't get in my way. As someone who's also strong, you should know, getting into a battle with me will cost you." Naruto stepped forward, his eyes now blazing. "You'll have to get through me first." "I wouldn't want to have it any other way, Pipsqueak." The battle that ensued was fierce and relentless. Juzo's strength and the skill with the Executioner's Blade was formidable, but Naruto's training and his bond with Gamara gave him an edge. Summoning Gamara, Naruto fought valiantly, matching Juzo's every move. Juno, meanwhile, engaged Juzo in a deadly dance of blades, their swords clashing with a fury that shook the forest. As the battle raged on, Juno's thoughts drifted to his brother's final words, giving him the strength to continue pressing on. During a brief lull in the battle, Juno took the opportunity to share a long-kept secret with Naruto. Or rather, show Naruto something that he had already revealed to Naruto, but not yet shown him. Do you remember that night we sat by the campfire and I told you something? Uncle Juno, is now really the time to be telling me something? Of course, there's so many times I can't remember. What is it? Naruto asked, his curiosity piqued even in the heat of battle. Well, do you remember how I told you our family has a complex history? How your father and I had different fathers. My father was an Uchiha, and I inherited the Sharingan. Juno's eyes changed, revealing the distinctive red Sharingan. This is the power of the Uchiha clan, and why I've been able to teach you so much about chakra control and jutsu. Unlike my elder brother, I was not naturally gifted with these things, and so I worked relentlessly to understand them. It just so happens that I was naturally gifted with an ocular dojutsu that could allow me to surpass him in some aspects. Naruto stared in awe. That's amazing, Uncle Juno! You really have the Sharingan? Juno now had his 3 Tomoe in each of his eyes. Before they could continue fighting Juzo, a new figure emerged from the shadows. Itachi Uchiha. Juzo, it seems you're struggling, Itachi said calmly. The presence of Itachi Uchiha, another Akatsuki member, added a new layer of danger. Juno's expression hardened. He paused. It was as if someone had taken the breath out of his body. Not just that, but the life too. He turned a pale white, as even Naruto noticed that something was wrong. A moment ago, his spirit was as strong as ever. Unwavering, determined, callous, powerful. But now, he appeared to be fading. He appeared to be drained of life. That was until anger crowded his expression. Juno looked to the ground. You wouldn't happen to be Itachi Uchiha, a rogue ninja from Konoha, would you? He looked up intently at Itachi. The black-haired man who stood at about the same height as him looked back at him. And if I was Itachi Uchiha, what business do you have with him? Itachi assumed. Because Juno had a Sharingan, not only was there no point on using a Genjutsu on him, but chances are that Juno knew someone that Itachi had killed in the Uchiha clan massacre. You killed the woman of my dreams. Ever since that moment, I vowed that I would avenge her one day. That I would kill you, Itachi. Do you understand what that's like? Losing the woman who you care for most? Do you understand the pain of losing my elder brother? And then her? What, 8 years later? Do you understand? I do. I do understand. You served in the Anbu Black Ops alongside me at one point. Do you remember that? Enough idle chit-chat. I would rather kill you now than continue talking with the filth that stands before me. How could you do it, Itachi? How could you slaughter all of them? And for what? Even if I were to explain everything to you, there is a high chance that you wouldn't believe me. And if you did believe me, there's a chance that you would endanger the only person that I care about. You mean to tell me that someone as sick and cold and twisted as you cares about someone? Did you hear that, Naruto? He's making some sick joke. He thinks it's funny to laugh at me. In an instant, Juno had activated his Sage Mode, his eyes turning a fiery green. and his Sharingan fading. I won't let you take Naruto from me. Not like you did Mahiko. The battle intensified as Juno and Naruto found themselves fighting both Juzo and Itachi. Itachi's presence brought painful memories back for Juno, memories of the Uchiha clan's tragic fate. Fueled by rage and determination, Juno's Sharingan transformed once again into the Mangekyo Sharingan, like it did that night. The new power surged through him, giving him the strength to match Itachi's formidable skills. Naruto, fighting alongside Gaara, focused on Juzo. The fight was brutal, with both sides exchanging powerful blows amongst each other. Despite the overwhelming odds, Naruto's training and determination paid off. He managed to overpower Juzo, delivering a decisive blow that left the Akatsuki member defeated. Meanwhile, Juno and Itachi clashed in a battle of wills, and their power was a marvel. Their Mangekyo Sharingan abilities pushed each other to the limits. Juno used one of his Mangekyo abilities, called Ketsuryagan, a technique that distorted reality around his target, causing Itachi immense strain and pain. Juno, was it? Yeah, Juno the Red Fang of Konoha. I must commend you, and I'll also tell you something. Be it that this may be useful to you one day. Overuse of those eyes of yours, the Mangekyo Sharingan, will lead to blindness. Understood. Thanks for telling me something before I had to kill you. It's nice. You know, Itachi, if you hadn't taken the woman I cared about most, you honestly wouldn't have been half bad. You know that. Now, Sage Art! Before Juno could even finish, Itachi had placed both Naruto and, Juno under a genjutsu. Where are we, Itachi? Is this a genjutsu of yours? Naruto, we're under his genjutsu. Stay sharp. Nothing here is real. Nothing here is real? Are you sure about that? What do you mean, Itachi? What are you getting at? Juno looked behind him as he saw Mahiko. This has got to be some sick joke. Itachi, I swear I'll kill you, damn it. How can you mock her image? Was killing her not enough? Must you bring her back to torment me? Mahiko told Juno that she loved him with all her heart, and that she was sorry that she had to go and die. Juno couldn't help but break down into tears as Itachi began speaking to Naruto. When I was about your age, I was in the middle of a great ninja war. You mean like the one that Uncle Juno and my father participated in? Much like that one, yes. Because of that, I knew what it meant to kill very early on. I knew what war looked like. I knew what losing people you cared about was like as well. That doesn't mean that it was okay to take Mahiko from Uncle Juno. Killing your entire clan. I just don't understand. And what's the point in sparing your own little brother? Is it because you did really care about him? That's the only thing I could think of. You're right. I did really care about him. I do care about Sasuke. But in this world, there are some things that you are only able to achieve through such sacrifices. Such sacrifices? Are you serious? I just still don't understand. Killing your entire clan? It's best not to be optimistic. Let's put it this way. One's reality might be another's illusion. What are you even saying, Itachi? Teachings that do not speak of pain have no meaning, for humankind cannot gain anything in return. What? Listen. I did what I had to protect my little brother. I have told no one this. What are you doing to my Uncle Juno? All of the things that he wished Mahiko would say to him before she died, I am allowing him to experience that. You may see that as mocking her name, but I believe that he'll thank me one day for this. But I need you to share with him everything that I know. What? Everything that you know? Yes. Currently, I am in a group known as the Akatsuki. Akatsuki members tend to travel in these robes, the ones that I'm wearing now. Or rather, the ones that I and my partner wore. I see. And what exactly is the Akatsuki? They're a group of S-class ninja for the most part. All of them have left their villages. So they're all people like you and Juzo? Yes. But what? What is their purpose? Put simply, our purpose is to collect the 9 Biju. You mean the tailed beast? Like the one that's inside of me? Precisely. Our goal is to take them, to harness their power, and achieve world peace. But I'm no fool. Anyone who wishes to control the world using the tailed beast must take a considerable amount of life. Unfortunately, I cannot stand by and watch. But I'm currently acting as an undercover operative for the Hidden Leaf Village. What? My loyalty has always been with Konoha. So why kill one of its most prestigious clans in cold blood? That night of the Uchiha massacre, I did not work alone. What? In fact, I'm not even the one who killed Mahiko. It must have been that man, Madara Uchiha. Madara Uchiha? Yes. But why? Well, I cannot give you every single detail. Unfortunately, I just do not have that kind of time. But I'm going to share with you everything I know in a matter of seconds, you understand? What? What I'm saying is, only a couple of seconds will pass in the real world, but I'll be able to explain everything to you. Once you have awoken from a semi-comatose state, you must relay all of this information to your Uncle Juno. You understand? Yes. I believe that he and I share a sickness. What? Most drugs that I've tried prolong my life slightly and temporarily take away some of the side effects of this ailment. But it genuinely does not last for long. So what are you saying? I'm saying that he should rely on chakra healing. Chakra healing? The only person who I believe could help him is the legendary Sanin, Tsunade. Unfortunately, I'm in no position to ask for her help, but I believe that he could. She could save him. Anyways, I am now going to depart all of my knowledge to you. Do you understand, Naruto? I understand. In seconds, Itachi had ended the Genjutsu. As Juno was released, tears now streaming down his face in the real world. He looked over at Naruto, who was unconscious on the ground. Itachi took off, telling Juno that they would most likely one day meet again. Juno grit his teeth. Did he go after Itachi or tend to Naruto? Of course, he ended up going with the option of tending to Naruto. After that, Juno took care of Naruto for about a week, as Naruto had recovered quite well and had even grown stronger since the fight. One day, Juno and Naruto decided to go on a mission. A B-rank mission, but most missions are truly not as simple as they appear. The sun hung low in the sky as Naruto and Juno made their way through the dense forest, the air thick with tension. They had been hired for a high-paying mission to escort a crucial informant across enemy territory. But something felt off. Juno's sharp instincts, honed from years of experience, told him that they were being watched. As they reached a clearing, a sudden rustle in the trees caught Juno's attention. He swiftly unsheathed his sword, placing himself between Naruto and the sound. "Stay alert, Naruto," Juno whispered, his voice filled with an edge of warning. Before Naruto could even respond, 3 figures emerged from the shadows: Kisame Hoshigake, Deidara, and Kakuzu. Zetsu appeared as well, his sinister grin splitting his face. "Looks like we found the Nine-Tails brat," Kisame sneered, his massive sword Samehada slung over his shoulder. Juno's eyes narrowed as he quickly assessed the situation. "They're like Itachi. Akatsuki, that is. Which means that they're after you, Naruto." Deidara's smirk widened. "You've met that bastard Itachi, huh? Which means that you know we're here for the Jinchuriki. Hand him over, why don't ya? And maybe we'll let you live." Naruto's heart raced as he instinctively moved closer to his uncle, his hands ready to summon the Nine-Tails' chakra. But before he could act, Juno raised a hand to stop him. "Naruto, listen carefully," Juno said calmly, though his eyes burned with intensity. "You need to run. These are not enemies that we can take on together. I must fight them alone, ensuring your survival." Naruto's eyes widened in shock, and for a moment, he almost gasped. "But Uncle Juno, I can't leave you to fight them by yourself." Juno looked down at Naruto, his expression softening. "You've grown strong, Naruto, but you're not ready for this fight. Your life is more important than this battle. The future of the Leaf Village and your dream of becoming Hokage depend on it." Naruto clenched his fist. His resolve even wavered for a moment. He hated the thought of leaving Juno behind, but deep down he knew his uncle was right. Juno turned back to the Akatsuki members, his chakra flaring as he activated his Mangekyo Sharingan. The scarlet eyes spun, reflecting the gravity of the situation. "Naruto, take this," Juno said, plucking his left Sharingan and handing it to Naruto. Naruto hesitated, staring at the eye in his hand. "Uncle Juno, No time to argue," Juno cut him off, his voice stern. "Replace your eye with this. It's a gift, and you'll need it to survive. Now go." Naruto gritted his teeth, but obeyed, quickly implanting the Sharingan in his right eye with the basic medical ninjutsu skills that his uncle had taught him. He felt a surge of power as his vision sharpened and the world around him became more vivid than it had ever been. "Go, Naruto! Live to fight another day," Juno shouted, stepping forward to confront the Akatsuki members. As Naruto took off through the forest, tears streamed down his face. He could see... As Naruto fled, the sounds of battle grew distant, but the fear for his uncle's life gnawed at him. Juno moved like a whirlwind, his blade slicing through the air with deadly precision. He fought with a ferocity that even the Akatsuki members hadn't anticipated. Deidara's clay birds exploded around him, but Juno weaved through the blast with ease, countering each attack with a flurry of strikes. "You're Deidara. We've met before, haven't we? Back when you were still at Stone Shinobi, right?" For a second, Juno grew weak. It was his sickness. Quickly, he pulled out some medication and popped it in his mouth, as Kisame lunged at him. His strength overwhelming, but Juno parried the blow, delivering a powerful kick that sent the shark man crashing into a tree. Zetsu, ever the observer, watched with narrow eyes, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But the Red Fang of Konoha was relentless, his Mangekyo Sharingan predicting their moves before they made them. He was actually holding his own against 3 Akatsuki members. But he knew it wouldn't last. The Akatsuki were too strong, too numerous. As much as he knew information on Kakuzu, Deidara, and Kisame, he knew nothing of Zetsu, which made this fight unpredictable. As Deidara prepared another clay creation, Juno saw his chance. With a swift motion, he activated his Mangekyo Sharingan's unique ability, Kagura's Gate. The space around him distorted, a swirling vortex forming around him. This ability, his ultimate technique, allowed him to create a rift in time and space, a portal that could transport him anywhere within his choosing. But the chakra drain was immense, and he could only use it sparingly. "Not so fast," Deidara sneered, launching his explosive bird towards Juno. But the Red Fang was quicker. He darted forward, plunging his sword into Deidara's arms, causing the explosive clay to fall harmlessly to the ground. "Now, Naruto," Juno whispered to himself as he reached up and plucked out his Sharingan eye. Blood streaming down his face, he implanted it into Naruto's right eye socket. "Wait, but Juno, where did you come from?" "It's Uncle Juno to you, remember?" "But just a minute ago I thought you were fighting the Akatsuki." "Yes, I used my Mangekyo Sharingan's ability to rift to you." "To rift to me?" "Yes. Technically speaking, I can go absolutely anywhere in the world with this. Or teleport to anyone in the world who I've met before." "I see. Why would you give me your right eye as well?" "Because I no longer need it." "You can't be serious, are you?" "I'm dead serious." "Now then, I have one final ask of you. As my nephew, you can grant me this wish, can't you?" "Anything, Uncle Juno. Anything at all." "I need you to transport me back to the Akatsuki." What do you mean?" "Both of my eyes are now gone, which means that my will be carried out through you." "Do you know what my dream is, Naruto? I don't think I ever shared it with you, did I?" "Well, it's quite simple. I wish to live every day in hopes of making the world a better place. If it is achieved through violence or through serenity does not matter. The fact is,
My goal is all I desire. Through training you, I realized that you were the only person who could achieve what I wanted. World peace. What you must understand, Naruto, is that there are many people who wish for this goal. Even the Akatsuki. They wish to gather the Biju, you and the other 8 Jinchuriki, so that they can achieve world peace through pain. But Uncle Juno, I don't want to hurt people like that. You mustn't do something as drastic as collecting the Biju. Instead, you must find the power within yourself. Do not collect things as if they are tools to be used for your goal. You must instead collect things as if they are your allies, as if they are things that you can lean on. The man who leans on others through strength is stronger than the man who relies on only himself. Do you understand that, Naruto? I do. But you realize that if you die over there fighting the Akatsuki, yes. For a long time, you may only rely on yourself. I understand that as a harsh and painful reality. That's why I invite you to do what I did when I was around your age. Me and Minato had quite different upbringings, but as I told you before, I was once a mercenary. I encourage you to do the same, and for quite some time. When you feel strong enough, return to the Hidden Leaf Village. Naruto cried, clutching his now bleeding eyes, but Juno shook his head, his expression firm. Although I cannot see you, I know that you are in disagreement, aren't you? My amazing nephew. Of course I'm in disagreement, Uncle Juno. What you're asking of me is... Yes, I understand. But this is not an ask. That is where you are mistaken. This is an order, Naruto. I understand, Uncle Juno. If this is the way that you wish to die, then who am I to intervene? Juno then explained to Naruto how to activate his teleportation technique, Kaguya's Gate. As he did, goodbye, Naruto. I shall be leaving now. And before I do, you should try and find someone. His name is, Gosh, he's your godfather, since I wasn't around. Jiraiya. One of the legendary Sannin. How could you forget one of the legendary... Wait, you mean to tell me that Jiraiya of the legendary Sannin, the great Toad Sage, is my godfather? Yeah, me and Minato were going through a bit of a fight. So he ended up naming Jiraiya your godfather, even though he had an amazing brother who ended up raising you in his place anyway. Now then, don't forget it. Jiraiya, once you find him, ask him to teach you Sage Mode. It is a technique that very few have mastered, but it may be integral in your strength and your continued growth. I see. Now then, I'll be leaving. I'm going to stall the Akatsuki members as much as I can. No doubt they are headed here. Juno then passed through the gate. You really came back. Juno turned to the 3 Akatsuki members, his body trembling with exhaustion and the loss of blood. But he stood tall, his resolve unbroken. I'll give you one chance to leave, all of you. If you continue past this point, I can only promise you death, he said coldly, his voice like steel. You'll face the wrath of a true Namikaze. Deidara and Kisame exchanged glances, both wary now. But Zetsu stepped forward, a twisted smile on his face. You're strong, Juno Namikaze, but you can't win this fight, and now you're all alone. Juno smirked. All alone, you say? Well then, you've never met me before. Now then, multi-shadow clone jutsu. Yes, Juno Namikaze, someone who does not have a extraordinary amount of chakra, someone who is not a Uzumaki or a Senju, has access to the multi-shadow clone jutsu and created 10 shadow clones, which I think is pretty reasonable for someone of his not only chakra control, but chakra depth. But with that being said, or rather chakra reserves, but you get what I'm saying. The dense fog-laden forest of the Land of Waves seemed eerily quiet. That's where they were, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. They're in the Land of Waves. With the thick mist clinging to the trees like a veil of sorrow. In the midst of this silence, the ground trembled as Juno Namikaze, the red fang of Konoha, stood alone. Now stripped of his sight, having given Naruto Uzumaki both of his Sharingan, blood ran down his face, and he even brandished a smile. Blood poured from where his Sharingan had once gleamed, now a hollow void. Yet even in darkness, his resolve was unshaken. Juno's breath came in steady rhythms as he tapped into the natural energy surrounding him. Feeling the vibrant life of the forest pulse through his veins, he entered Sage Mode, his senses expanding, granting him an awareness beyond sight. His entire body radiated with the potent energy of the earth. His skin even took on a slightly rugged texture, the symbol of a true sage. He had perfected Dragon Sage Mode for precisely a moment like this, one where his back was against the wall, one where he needed every ounce of strength he could muster. The Akatsuki now encircled him, Deidara with his sadistic grin, Zetsu's dual personalities, arguing over strategy amongst themselves, Kakuzu with his stitched, monstrous form, and Kisame, the towering shark man, holding his infamous sword Samehada. You may have lost your eyes, but don't think for a moment that this makes you less of a threat, Kisame growled, tightening his grip on Samehada. Juno responded with a smirk, the aura of Sage Mode amplifying his presence. Eyes are nothing compared to the power of a true sage. I'll show you that even in darkness I can still tear you apart. Without warning, Juno vanished from sight, reappearing right in front of Deidara with blinding speed. He unleashed a brutal combination of punches and kicks, each strike infused with sage chakra. Deidara barely had time to react, his clay bird faltering under the relentless onslaught. Sage art, dragon's roar! Juno bellowed, channeling his chakra into a powerful sonic attack. The very air trembled as a shockwave blasted forth from his mouth, shaped like a roaring dragon, tearing through the trees and slamming into Deidara with earth-shattering force. Deidara was sent flying, crashing through the forest as the explosion artist struggled to regain his composure. But Juno gave no respite. He was already on the move, this time targeting Kisame. By the way, some of you may be wondering why Deidara isn't just using more powerful explosives. The real reason is he's using explosives that are more centered instead of explosives that can cover a wider range and therefore have a greater output, because he's fighting alongside his, well, technically his comrades. So he can't just be using any explosions that he wants to. Like I said, Juno gave no respite as he was already on the move, targeting Kisame next. The clash between Juno's blade and Samehada sent sparks flying. Juno had done his research. He knew exactly what blade Samehada was and its ability to sap its opponent of chakra. Juno's swordsmanship was flawless, each strike calculated, each movement precise. Kisame grinned savagely, enjoying the challenge, but soon found himself on the back foot. Sage art, fanged dragon, Juno roared, slamming his hand into the ground. The earth beneath them erupted as massive stone dragons surged from the ground, their jaws snapping at Kisame with terrifying ferocity. Kisame swung Samehada, slicing through one of the dragons, but the others were relentless, forcing him to retreat and take a back foot. Juno's senses flared as Zetsu attempted to attack him from his blind spot. The shadows. But Juno was ready. Sage Art, Wolf's Howl! He slammed his palms together, and a concussive blast of energy erupted from his body, sweeping through the forest and forcing Zetsu to reveal himself. Kakuzu, always the opportunist, launched his elemental mask, each one unleashing a barrage of deadly attacks. Fire, wind, and lightning combined in a deadly dance of destruction. But Juno was undeterred. He weaved through the attacks with a grace that only a seasoned warrior would be capable of. His movements almost preternatural in their precision. With a swift motion, Juno drew his sword, its blade gleaming with sage chakra. Sage Art, Crescent Moon Slash! He swung the blade, releasing a crescent-shaped wave of energy that sliced through the elemental attacks, dispersing them harmlessly into the mist. He wasn't just holding his own. He was actually beating them. Kakuzu snarled, his stitched body morphing as he prepared to unleash his full power. But Juno was relentless, closing the distance between them in an instant before he could do so. The forest echoed with the sounds of their battle, the ground cracking under the sheer force of their blows. Juno's fist and feet were a blur, each strike infused with a raw power that could only be found from Sage Mode. He moved with the fluidity of water, evading Kakuzu's retaliatory strikes while landing powerful blows that sent the stitched monster staggering. Despite the ferocity of his attacks, Juno was beginning to feel the strain. The battle had taken its toll, and even the power of Sage Mode couldn't sustain him indefinitely. He had a time limit, even if he wanted to believe it or not. His breathing grew labored, but his resolve only hardened. It was in moments like this that Juno found himself at his strongest. As he continued to fight, the realization dawned that he couldn't keep this up forever. The Akatsuki were too numerous, too strong, and if he didn't end this soon, he would soon be overwhelmed. But Juno Namikaze was not a man who backed down easily. Even in the face of certain death, he would stand his ground. As the battle raged on, Juno reached into his robe and pulled out a small jar. The Akatsuki paused, their eyes narrowing as they recognized the significance of the object in his hand. These eyes, Juno began, as he used a technique he called Sage Art, Dragon Barrier, creating a barrier of chakra that they just could not get through. The thing about this barrier is, it's gonna give me just enough time to place these eyes in, Juno began as his voice tinged with both pride and sorrow. The eyes that you see belong to Wicked Eye Fugaku, the most fearsome Uchiha of his time. I took them on the night of the Uchiha massacre. A precaution that I'm glad I took, ensuring that they wouldn't fall into the wrong hands. Had someone like Danzo Shimura, or even any of you Akatsuki members gotten your hands on these, it could have spilled disaster. He removed the lid, revealing 2 Mangekyo Sharingan, their crimson glow piercing through the mist with a deep breath. Juno placed the eyes into both of his sockets. The searing pain was nothing compared to the power that surged through him. The world around him burst into vivid clarity, and his reserves took a leap. The Sharingan combined with Sage Mode heightened his senses to unimaginable levels. Juno felt every leaf, every drop of water in the mist, every heartbeat of his enemies. Now, he said, his voice cold and deadly, let's finish this. With renewed strength, Juno launched himself at his enemies. He was a blur of motion, a whirlwind of death that none could match. Sparks flew in the air as his blade clashed with Samehada once more. He then targeted Deidara, whose clay birds were sliced apart mid-flight. Kisame's Samehada was deflected with such force that the shark man was sent crashing into a nearby boulder. Zetsu's attempts to meld with the shadows were futile. Juno's eyes saw everything, through every trick. Sage Art, Wrath of the Dragon! Juno's voice echoed through the forest as he summoned a massive dragon made of pure chakra. It roared to life, tumultuously tearing through the forest, its jaws snapping at Kakuzu and Kisame with relentless fury. The dragon's presence was overwhelming, its power dwarfing anything the Akatsuki had ever faced. But even with all his power, Juno knew he was reaching his limit. His body was beginning to break down from the strain, the combination of Sage Mode and the Mangekyo Sharingan pushing him to the brink. Finally, as the battle reached its climax, Juno made his move. Channeling the last of his chakra, he activated a technique that no one knew he had. Now then, Flying Raijin Jutsu. The air around him crackled with energy as he marked his final destination, a location known only to him. In a blinding flash of light, Juno vanished from the battlefield, leaving the Akatsuki behind, battered and bewildered. The forest fell silent once more, the mist closing in like a shroud over the scene of devastation. Juno appeared in an undisclosed location, far from the battle. His body was broken, his energy was spent, he was exhausted, but he was alive. He had managed to survive, something that very few shinobi could do. The fight with the Akatsuki had pushed him to his limits, but he had held his own against some of the most powerful shinobi the world had ever known. As he lay on the ground, the pain in his body, a constant reminder of the battle he had just endured, Juno allowed himself a small smile. He had fulfilled his duty, protecting his family, and lived to fight another day. He couldn't help but smile. But deep down, he knew that this was only the beginning. The Akatsuki would not rest until they had what they wanted, and when the time came, Juno would be ready to face them again. But for now, he would rest and recover. There was still much to do, and the Red Fang of Konoha would rise again. To be continued. Naruto Uzumaki, now only 8/9 years old, stood in the outskirts of the Hidden Leaf village, his small hands trembling as he clutched a torn piece of cloth that once belonged to his uncle, Juno Namikaze, the Red Fang of the Hidden Leaf village. The stories of his uncle's heroism had always inspired Naruto, but today, that inspiration was overshadowed by a deep, burning sorrow. Juno had sacrificed himself in battle against the Akatsuki, the currently most feared organization in the ninja world. Naruto's heart ached with the loss, but more than that, it seethed with a desire for justice. No, vengeance. Naruto knew there was only one person who could help him achieve the power he needed. It was Jiraiya, the Toad Sage, one of the legendary Sannin that fought in one of the ninja wars, and a man who had trained his father, the fourth Hokage of the Hidden Leaf, Minato. But finding Jiraiya was no easy task. Naruto had heard rumors of the Toad Sage's whereabouts, traveling from village to village, gathering information and writing his novels. Yet, Naruto was determined. He would find Jiraiya, and he would convince him to teach him the ways of the sage. Weeks passed as Naruto journeyed through the Fire Country, following every lead, enduring the harsh elements, and surviving on sheer willpower alone. Despite his age, Naruto's determination kept him moving forward. One night, Naruto finally stumbled upon Jiraiya in a small, secluded village. The tall, white-haired sage was sitting in a dimly lit tavern, enjoying a cup of sake, seemingly lost in his own thoughts. "Sage Jiraiya," Naruto called out, his voice filled with determination. Jiraiya turned, surprised to see the young boy who resembled Minato so much. Are you Naruto? What are you doing here? Naruto fell to his knees, tears welling up in his eyes. Please, Jiraiya, I need your help. My uncle, Juno, he's gone. The Akatsuki killed him. Please, I need to learn Sage Mode. I need to be strong enough to avenge him. Do you understand me? Jiraiya looked down at the boy, seeing the pain and resolve in his eyes. He could see the fire of the fourth Hokage burning within Naruto, but he also saw the darkness of vengeance threatening to consume him. Jiraiya sighed deeply, knowing that this was not a path a child should take, but he also understood the importance of preparing Naruto for the battles that would inevitably lay ahead. All right, Naruto, Jiraiya said, his voice steady. I'll teach you, but understand, Sage Mode isn't just about power. It's about balance, understanding, and connecting with the natural world. If you're serious about this, you'll need to commit to the training fully. And understand, I cannot guarantee that you won't die and the nature energy consume you. Nor can I guarantee that you will even master it. Even I, the great Toad Sage Jiraiya, never mastered Sage Mode. Naruto nodded fiercely, his determination visibly unshakable. I'm ready, Sensei. I'll do whatever it takes. The training began at Mount Myoboku, the sacred land of the Toads, where time seemed to flow differently. Under the watchful eyes of Fukasaku and Shima, Naruto... Sorry, I'm cracking my knuckles. Fukasaku and Shima, the two elder Toads. Naruto's journey into Sage Mode began. The first few months, well, to say the least, they were quite grueling. Naruto struggled to balance natural energy and his own chakra, especially because of the Nine Tails. Many times he came close to turning into stone, his youthful impatience nearly getting the best of him. But Jiraiya was always there to guide him, to steady him when his resolve faltered. As the months turned into years, Naruto's mastery over Sage Mode grew. He learned to sense the flow of natural energy in the world around him, to blend it with his own chakra, and to enhance his physical abilities to superhuman levels. The once hyperactive, impatient boy matured into a disciplined warrior, his movements precise and controlled, his mind sharpened by the challenges of his training. If he was competent, strong, headstrong, unshaken by most things, diligent, disciplined, thoughtful, considerate, passionate, able to do almost anything, intelligent, and the list goes on, but most importantly, mature. He had grown to a level that was unimaginable for someone of his age. The once hyperactive, impatient boy matured into a truly disciplined warrior. His movements be precise and controlled, his mind sharpened by the challenges of his training. Alongside Sage Mode, Jiraiya introduced Naruto to the Shadow Clone training technique, a method that allowed Naruto to accelerate his learning by distributing the experience gained by each clone back to himself. With this technique, Naruto's progress skyrocketed. He began mastering advanced jutsu in record times, including the Rasengan, a technique created by his father. He also still gets the idea to leave shadow clones in Mount Myoboku, gathering nature energy, just like he did when he was around 16/17 years old, before his fight versus Pain. This wasn't in preparation for some battle, it was just in preparation of anything. This means that Naruto still does don the massive scroll on his back, like in the original timeline. But Naruto didn't stop there. With his innate creativity and the power of Sage Mode, he developed new variations of the Rasengan. The most devastating of these was Sage Art Massive Rasengan, a gigantic spiraling sphere of chakra infused with natural energy, capable of obliterating anything in its path. Jiraiya also focused on helping Naruto control the Nine-Tails' chakra, pushing him to master the beast's power without losing himself to its malevolent influence. After 2 years of rigorous training, Naruto had achieved a level of mastery over the Nine-Tails' chakra that few could ever hope to match. With the foundations to his power set, Jiraiya knew there was little more he could teach Naruto directly. The rest of the journey was Naruto's to walk alone. Now, at 10 years old, Naruto's training with Jiraiya came to an end, but instead of returning to Konoha, Naruto made a solemn vow to continue training on his own. He thanked Jiraiya as much as he could, and for the next 2 years, Naruto immersed himself in battle, honing his skills against rogue shinobi, hunting down people in the bingo books, in mastering new jutsu, and pushing the limits to his abilities. He gained a reputation far and wide, and was even constantly hunted by Anbu, who wished to know his whereabouts or find him and bring him back to the village, as he was now an official mercenary. The pain of losing Juno fueled his every step and allowed him to continue moving forward. He studied the Akatsuki, learning their movements, their members, and their objectives as if it were his 9 to 5. Every day he trained, preparing himself for the inevitable confrontation. During this time, Naruto also uncovered a secret his uncle had left behind. Juno's Mangekyo Sharingan had abilities that he had yet to master, but he knew how to use. Through them, Naruto gained access to their fearsome power, including the ability to teleport vast distances similar to the flying Raijin. With the eyes, Naruto's strength and versatility increased nearly tenfold. At 12, Naruto was ready. He had become a force to be reckoned with, a shinobi whose power rivaled even the greatest of legends. He had spent the last 2 years after training with Jiraiya, honing his Mangekyo Sharingan abilities, and his Sharingan abilities in general, along with everything else he had learned. Using the power of the Mangekyo Sharingan, Naruto teleported directly to Kisame's location using the technique that his uncle Juno called Kagura's Gate. He arrived on a desolate island, the sky overcast, the sea raging against the cliffs. Kisame was there, standing alongside Itachi Uchiha, who observed Naruto with his usual calm indifference. "Well, well, look who it is, Itachi," Kisame grinned, his sharp teeth glinting in the dim light. "The little brat has come to play. You're brave to face me alone, kid, or are you just stupid? Here to fight me and avenge your uncle, is it?" Naruto's eyes blazed with determination, his sage mode activating as he drew upon the natural energy around him. "This isn't a game, Kisame. You took something precious from me, and now I shall take everything from you." Itachi remained silent, his crimson Sharingan eyes watching the young shinobi carefully. He could sense the power within Naruto, a power that had grown exponentially since they last met. We now switch to the perspective of Juno Namikaze, as he had a talk with an undisclosed figure. "Where can I find her? Do you know?" the man replied. "If I were to guess, she's probably stuck up somewhere drinking." "Okay. Do you know where exactly she lives?" "No, but I do know how you may get in contact with her greatest subordinate at this time, an assistant named Shizune, a skilled medical ninja." "Ah, yes, I've heard of Shizune." "Wait, you mean to tell me that Shizune is..." "Yep. She is the assistant to the legendary Sanin Tsunade." "I see. Now then, where may I find Shizune?" "Here. You can reach her here." The man slipped Juno a piece of paper with detailed instructions on how to find Shizune and her whereabouts. Juno took off, rushing to the area. Now there, he found Shizune and begged for her help. Who are you? Wait, you're not Juno, are you? I am. Though it's been many years since we last met. I remember when you were young and your father served as a jonin alongside me. I see. What is it that you need help with, Juno? Anything for a comrade. Anything for a friend. I beg of you. I have a sickness. One that only the medical ninjutsu of Tsunade could heal. I have a sickness that pains me. One that will inevitably take my life. Oh gosh, that's terrible. How long have you been afflicted with this pain? For many years now. Tsunade was in the other room, but she could hear everything clear as day. The walls were quite thin. And how exactly have you been powering through with this sickness? I take aftermarket drugs, or buy them from underground kingpins. And do they work? Not well. The only other person who I know with this disease was Itachi Uchiha, and I theorize that this was the same illness that could have killed Hashirama Senju, god of shinobi. So how exactly do you, really live? I don't. My days are filled with pain. A couple years back was when I pushed myself harder than I ever had. Actually, a few years now. In a fight against Itachi Uchiha, Kisame Hoshigake, Deidara, and some entity that I do not know. In the battle, I sacrificed myself so that my nephew could escape. But it became daunting to me that after I had escaped myself, that if I did not seek out Tsunade in the coming years, I would die. But unfortunately, Tsunade is... I will help him, Shizune! Both Shizune and Juno became, surprised to say the least. Does that mean that she'll help me? I suppose it does. Shizune and Juno watched as Tsunade stormed into the room. What is it, Juno Namikaze? I'll do anything to save your life. But Tsunade, are you sure this is wise? Your PTSD. This man's words. They've brought me out of my drunken, foolish, pitiful existence. I wish to help someone. Is that truly so cruel, Shizune? Absolutely not, madam. I wish to see you do so. It would bring me much joy. And so, Shizune watched as Tsunade healed Juno. Juno continued to give Tsunade words of reassurance that boosted her confidence in the matter of using jutsu and entering the ninja world as a medical ninja once more. Basically, what I'm saying is, Juno sort of talked no jutsu'd Tsunade into conveniently becoming a medical ninjutsu user once more and getting over her fear of blood, as countless times Juno ended up coughing up blood, and it just gradually helped her get over it. For the sake of the what if, even if this seems like a stretch, it's just going to have to be possible. We now switch back to the perspective of Naruto. The battle began with Kisame with a thunderous explosion as Naruto launched himself at him, the ground shattering beneath his feet. Kisame swung Samehada to meet Naruto's attack, but Naruto was already gone. Moving with incredible speed, he reappeared behind Kisame, landing a powerful kick that sent the Shark Man crashing into the ground. Kisame roared in anger, swimming Samehada wildly throughout the air. The sword hungrily absorbed Naruto's chakra, but Naruto didn't flinch, even with blood pouring from a wound now on his arm and shoulder. He had expected this. With a swift hand seal, he summoned hundreds of shadow clones, each one charging at Kisame with relentless ferocity. During his time with Jiraiya, he had also mastered the multi-shadow clone jutsu, which came easily to him as someone with immense chakra reserves. Kisame fought back with a barrage of water jutsu, creating towering waves and water sharks that tore through the clones. But Naruto's strategy wasn't just brute force. As Kisame was occupied with the clones, Naruto formed a massive Rasengan, infusing it with his very own Sage Chakra. "Sage Art! Massive Rasengan!" Naruto shouted, slamming the spiraling sphere into Kisame's side. The explosion rocked the island, sending shockwaves across the sea. Kisame grunted in pain, but he wasn't finished. He absorbed the chakra from the Rasengan, using it to fuel his own power. "You think you can beat me with tricks like that?" Kisame growled, his body healing rapidly. "You've got guts, kid, but it won't be enough." Naruto's eyes narrowed as he activated Juno's Mangekyo Sharingan. "I'm just getting started." During his time on his own, he found a way to activate and deactivate his Sharingan, possibly a side effect of being an Uzumaki. Again, this is definitely a pull. Definitely something that may not canonically be possible in the Naruto world, but needs to work in the what if for it to flow. Since this is my interpretation of a Naruto, if he was a mercenary, this is my interpretation to change the Naruto what if universe and some of the natural laws that most characters abide by. In a flash, Naruto teleported behind Kisame, telling him that he was just getting started. His hand crackling with Sage Chakra. "Sage Art, Rasengan Barrage!" He unleashed a flurry of Rasengan strikes, each one hitting Kisame with pinpoint accuracy. The sheer speed and power overwhelmed Kisame, who could barely keep up. But Kisame wasn't done yet. He tapped into the full power of Samehada, fusing with the sword and transforming into a monstrous shark-like form. With this new power, Kisame's strength and speed increased dramatically. The battle raged on as the island, shaking under the force of their attacks, rumbled. Naruto used every trick he had learned, from advanced taijutsu techniques to powerful ninjutsu. He weaved through Kisame's attacks, his movements fluid and precise, a testament to all of the rigorous training he had done over the years. Despite Kisame's monstrous strength, Naruto slowly but surely gained the upper hand. Each attack pushed Kisame further back. Each Rasengan left him more battered and bruised. Naruto's determination and unyielding was his greatest strength, because his willpower was unmatched. He tapped into the Nine-Tails' chakra as he began to clear his throat, causing an aura of red energy to envelop him. "Did you really think that I would let you get scot-free with taking the most important man away from me?" The power surge was immense, and even Samehada began to respond to it, drawn to the immense chakra of the Nine-Tails. Kisame's eyes widened in shock as Samehada slowly began to betray him, redirecting the absorbed chakra back to Naruto. What's happening?" Naruto smirked, feeling the immense power coursing through him. "Seems like your blade Samehada knows who's stronger." "You're finished, Kisame." With a final burst of energy, Naruto unleashed his most powerful technique, Sage Art, Nine-Tails Chakra Rasengan. The Rasengan, now infused with both Sage and Nine-Tails' chakra, glowed with an intense light. Think of it like a Rasengan mixed with Sage Chakra, mixed with a Tailed Beast Bomb. Just you can't shoot it, you have to hit your target. Pretty powerful. Naruto slammed it into Kisame, the resulting explosion devastating the island and sending shockwaves across the ocean. When the dust settled, Kisame lay on the ground, defeated. Samehada had abandoned him, lying next to Naruto, who stood tall and victorious. Kisame's transformation reverted, leaving him battered and broken. Itachi, who had watched the entire battle without interfering, stepped forward. He looked at Naruto with a mix of respect and curiosity. "You've grown stronger, Naruto. Far stronger than I expected." Naruto didn't lower his guard. His eyes locked on to Itachi, like a moth to a flame. "This isn't over, Itachi. I'm coming for every last one of you. The Akatsuki will pay for what they did." Itachi nodded slowly, as if acknowledging Naruto's resolve. "With the information that you have, we shall see, Naruto. We shall see." With that, Itachi vanished, leaving Naruto alone with the defeated Kisame. The battle had taken its toll on Naruto, but he stood firm. The pain of loss burned vigorously within him, fueling his desire for vengeance. Naruto had come a long way from the scared little boy who had once run from Kisame. Now he was a warrior, a force to be reckoned with, and he was just getting started. The Akatsuki had made a grave mistake in taking Juno from him, and Naruto would stop at nothing to make them pay. He slowly approached Kisame. Kisame, who was barely clinging on to life, stared into Naruto's soul. His normally blue, kind, and loving eyes looked at Kisame and pierced through him. The only emotion they showed wasn't an emotion at all. It was an action. Vengeance. Naruto drew his blade from over his back, pointing it at Kisame. Any last words? Kisame stared at Naruto, spitting up into Naruto's face. Before the spit could even land on Naruto, his face had been coated with not only spit, but the blood of Kisame, as he chopped Kisame into 1,000,000 pieces. Serves you right. I've only just begun. Every one of you red-clouded bastards will feel my wrath. I promise you that. Naruto then turned around as he left the scene, leaving Kisame's body. I'm finally strong enough to return to the village. Are you proud of me, Uncle Juno? Naruto thought to himself as he teleported to the gates of the Leaf Village. It's been a while. He then teleported from there to inside of the Hokage office, where Hiruzen sat, quietly smoking from his pipe. Naruto? Is that you? Naruto's hair had grown a bit longer since the last time they had met, and his whole entire look had changed. He looked as if he had been through 100 years of life, twice over. Yes, Lord Third, it is me, Naruto Uzumaki. I've had Ombu units looking for you nearly every day, but they could never find you. You realize that you are an outlawed shinobi. I will say this only once, Hiruzen. You will either allow me back into the Leaf Village with no repercussions, or I will leave and never return. These are your two options. You must also allow me to join the... Naruto thought carefully about his next words. You must also give me the opportunity to become a full-fledged shinobi once more. I do not expect things to be handed to me, but I wish to be able to show you how far I've come and how much of an asset I can be to the village. My goal, to become the Hokage, just as my father did. My, you truly have grown, Naruto. I will meet your demands. It is necessary, I'm sure you know, as the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki. Of course, Hiruzen. I also ask that you provide me with a place to stay. I'm assuming that even if I am to pass whatever written test that I must take, chances are I won't be making good money for a while, so I'll need a place to lay my head under, if you get what I'm saying. Such things will be arranged. Meet with me again around this time tomorrow? Sounds good, Hiruzen. Sorry, Lord Third. Now, it's been a while. I did not expect such formalities in the first place. Naruto left the Hokage office as he went to a nearby training ground that he and Juno spent a majority of their time in. This is the first time I've been here without you, Uncle Juno. I wonder, do you look down on me with pity or pride? Naruto knew that his uncle was a nuanced man. He could see what Naruto's doing, hunting down the Akatsuki members, technically making the world a better place, and see it as a thing to be prideful about. Or he could look down on Naruto with pity, as Naruto is truly taking the path of vengeance. The next day, Naruto would be assigned to a Genin unit. His sensei, Kakashi Hatake. His two Genin teammates, Sakura Haruno and Sasuke Uchiha. For the sake of the what if, this is just going to have to work. Obviously, it's just going to have to be he gets back at the perfect time so that this can work. And also, whoever replaced Naruto in this timeline fails, is held back a year, and Naruto takes their place. Hiruzen also decides for it to be Kakashi, as he has a connection to Naruto through Minato. With that being said, and also Juno. With that being said, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura meet up at a nearby training ground for the bell test. Kakashi explains the rules to them. Most of the time, Naruto was zoned out, thinking about how fast he could become a Chunin or Jonin, just like Kakashi. Sasuke and Sakura paid attention as they relayed the information to Naruto afterwards. Naruto was a mystery to them, so they didn't have any predisposed opinions. But Sasuke believed himself better than Naruto. He also didn't think it was fair that Naruto could just write an exam, create a shadow clone, and then go about his way becoming a Genin. He thought it was unfair. He thought it was, well, BS, to put it lightly. And so he judged Naruto hard with this, believing that he was better than Naruto. Once Kakashi began reading his makeout volume, Naruto began strategizing with Sakura and Sasuke, as he voluntold himself to be team leader. Who decided for you to give us orders? You're just a knucklehead man. No, boy. Well, I guess I could say the same about you, couldn't I, Sasuke? You haven't exactly accomplished much in the ninja world, have you? You're one to talk. You say that as if you have. Coming from experience, the world is far crueler than you know. And the Uchiha massacre? That barely surmises how cruel this world can get. I've met monsters that you couldn't even touch. Itachi Uchiha, Kisame Hoshigake. You could never know the depths at which I went to conquer, to obtain my goals. Vengeance is what drives me. I will make this world a better place, one by one. Sasuke said nothing. Did Naruto know that Itachi was his older brother? Did he mention his name on purpose? Did he disrespect him blatantly, wanting a fight? If it was true and Naruto had battled against Itachi, then maybe Naruto deserved the perks that he was given. It all made sense to him. If Naruto truly was telling the truth, then how could he argue? Sasuke stayed silent as Naruto continued leading. Now then, clearly, this isn't about grabbing the bells at all. It's about us working together as a team. Do you understand? As a team? You really think? But he explained the rules, clear as day. Listen to me. I don't care how you spin it. If you, me, and Sakura here are going to be teammates for the next, well, for a long while probably, then we need to work together, and we need to show Kakashi that we can do that. Do you understand? They successfully demonstrated to Kakashi their ability to work together and ended up, well, passing the bell test in an instant, basically. Naruto Uzumaki stood at the edge of the training grounds later that day, looking out over the dense forest that surrounded the Hidden Leaf Village. His senses, sharpened by years of rigorous training, detected the slightest shifts in the wind and the rustling of leaves at his feet. Despite his outward calm, his mind was focused, analyzing every possible scenario as Team 7's first real mission loomed on the horizon. Kakashi Hatake, their team leader, observed Naruto with a mixture of curiosity and pride. How could Naruto grow so fast? He wondered what had transpired to make Naruto such an overwhelming presence. His presence alone had a profound impact on his teammates, Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno. Their mission was quite simple, or so it seemed. Their first one, that is. Escort Tazuna, a bridge builder to the land of waves. But Naruto knew better. He had learned from Jiraiya that no mission was ever truly simple, especially not for a team like theirs. The Akatsuki's shadow loomed large, and Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that something more sinister awaited them. As they traveled, Naruto noticed the subtle changes in his teammates. Sasuke, always driven by the desire for power, had become more focused, more determined. The rivalry between them was still there, but it had evolved into something more, an unspoken bond forged in the fires of their training. Sasuke's Sharingan had even matured, and he was now able to wield it with impressive precision. Sakura, on the other hand, had grown in confidence. Under Naruto's influence, she had started taking her training more seriously. She spent hours practicing her chakra control, and had even begun learning medical ninjutsu inspired by Tsunade, one of the legendary Sannin. Naruto's strength had pushed her to strive for more, and she was determined not to be left behind by either Naruto or Sasuke. When they finally encountered Zabuza Momochi, the demon of the hidden mist, Naruto's instincts were proven right. The battle was fierce, but it was clear from the start that Naruto's power had shifted the balance. Zabuza, a seasoned shinobi, found himself struggling against Naruto's sage-enhanced attacks and devastating power of his Rasengan. But it wasn't just Naruto who shone in the battle. Sasuke's Sharingan allowed him to predict Zabuza's movements with remarkable accuracy, and his fire-style jutsu forced the rogue ninja to stay on the defensive. Sakura, meanwhile, used her medical training to support Kakashi, healing his wounds and keeping him in the fight. The real challenge came when Haku, Zabuza's loyal follower, entered the fray. Naruto recognized Haku's incredible speed and skill, but he was determined to protect his friends no matter what. In the original timeline, Naruto had struggled against Haku, but this time was different. His Sage Mode allowed him to sense Haku's movements even before they happened, and his Rasengan broke through Haku's ice mirrors with devastating force.
As the battle reached its climax, Naruto's strength forced Zabuza and Haku to reconsider their mission. When Haku went to sacrifice herself for Zabuza, Naruto intervened, using his own body as a shield. The act of selflessness shocked both Zabuza and Haku, forcing them to see Naruto's strength not just in his power, but in his will to protect others. Zabuza, who was now moved by Naruto's determination, turned against Gato, the man who had hired him from the get-go. The bridge builder's life was now spared, and Zabuza's life was ultimately taken as he redeemed himself by taking down Gato and his men. Haku, now without a purpose, decided to follow Naruto and Team 7 back to the Hidden Leaf Village, becoming both an ally and a trusted friend, and taking an interest in the kindred spirit of Naruto. Back in the village, the Chunin exams were fast approaching. Naruto's reputation had grown significantly, and so had the expectations placed upon him. But Naruto wasn't concerned about proving himself. He was focused on something else entirely: the Akatsuki. The Chunin exams presented a new challenge for Team 7. The written test, designed to test their intelligence and ability to gather information, was passed with ease by Naruto, who used his shadow clones to observe and analyze the other candidates. Sasuke's Sharingan and Sakura's sharp mind allowed them to pass the test without any issues. The real test would come in the Forest of Death, where survival instincts were put to the test. Orochimaru, one of the legendary Sannin and a former ally turned enemy, had set his sights on Sasuke Uchiha. Having seen the potential in the young Uchiha, he couldn't help but want his body as a vessel. But this time, in this timeline, things didn't go according to his plan. Naruto's enhanced senses picked up on Orochimaru's presence long before the snake-like ninja could launch his attack. The battle that followed was intense, with Orochimaru's immense power threatening to overwhelm them. But Naruto's Sage Mode and Rasengan kept Orochimaru at bay, preventing him from placing the curse mark on Sasuke. Sasuke, feeling the pressure to prove himself, pushed his Sharingan to new limits, copying and countering Orochimaru's jutsu with incredible speed. Sakura, knowing she couldn't match the power of Naruto or Sasuke, focused on protecting, their scrolls and providing support, using her keen analytical skills to find weaknesses in Orochimaru's attacks and provide support, telling them what they should do next. Despite their best efforts, Orochimaru managed to escape, but not before realizing that Naruto was a threat far greater than he had anticipated. Sasuke, meanwhile, felt the weight of his own limitations, his desire for power growing stronger as he witnessed Naruto's strength firsthand. The rest of the Chunin exams continued, with Team 7's bond growing stronger. In the preliminaries, Naruto faced Kiba Inuzuka, defeating him with a combination of raw power and clever tactics, and not just by farting in his face. Sasuke's battle with Yoroi Akato pushed him to unlock more of the Sharingan's potential, while Sakura's match against Ino Yamanaka ended in a draw, but not without Sakura showcasing her growth in both strategy and strength. The final rounds of the Chunin exam saw Naruto facing Neji Hyuga, the genius of the Hyuga clan. In the original timeline, this battle had been a turning point for Naruto, but now with his Sage Mode and advanced jutsu, Naruto dominated the fight. He refused to hold back, breaking through Neji's defenses and shattering his belief in destiny, especially after what he had saw Neji do to Hinata. He decided that Neji needed to pay, incapacitating him. Sasuke's fight against Gaara, the Jinchuriki of the one-tailed Shukaku, was no less intense. Sasuke had been training under Kakashi to master the Chidori, and it was during this fight that he unveiled it, pushing Gaara to the brink of transformation. But before Gaara could lose control, Naruto intervened. His own experience as a Jinchuriki allowed him to reach out to Gaara and prevent the destruction of the arena. The Chunin exams were interrupted by Orochimaru's invasion of Konoha, a plan to destroy the village and exact revenge on the third Hokage. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura found themselves at the center of the conflict, fighting alongside their fellow shinobi to protect their home. As Orochimaru's forces attacked, Naruto's power became a beacon of hope for the village. He led the charge against the invaders, using his Rasengan and Sage Mode to devastate the enemy ranks. Sasuke, fueled by his desire to protect his friends and prove his strength, fought fiercely alongside Naruto, his Chidori cutting through the enemy with deadly precision. Sakura, though not as powerful as her extremely powerful teammates, played a crucial role in healing the wounded and provided strategic support. Her quick thinking and medical skills saved countless lives, earning her the respect of her peers. The most intense battle would come when Orochimaru confronted the third Hokage. Naruto and Sasuke arrived just in time to witness the battle, but they were powerless to stop Orochimaru's reanimation jutsu, which brought the first and second Hokage back to life. Despite the overwhelming odds, the third Hokage fought bravely, using the Reaper Death Seal to seal away Orochimaru's arms and put an end to the invasion. Naruto and Sasuke's attempts to intervene were halted by the powerful barrier erected by Orochimaru's followers, but the sight of their leader sacrificing himself left a lasting impact on both of them. Their leader being Hiruzen, of course, and seeing what he was able to do for Konoha in his dying moments and how much he genuinely cared about the village. In the aftermath of the invasion, Konoha was left to rebuild. Naruto's mind, however, well, it was focused on a single goal: to grow stronger and find a way to protect those he cared about from the threats that loomed over the village. Sasuke, on the other hand, was haunted by his own desire for power, driven by the realization that he was still not strong enough to face his brother Itachi. With the village in need of a new Hokage, Jiraiya was tasked with finding Tsunade, one of the legendary Sannin, to take up the mantle. Naruto accompanied him, eager to learn more from his mentor and continue his training. During their journey, they encountered Itachi Uchiha and Kisame Hoshigake, members of the Akatsuki. The encounter was brief, but also intense, with Itachi testing Naruto's ability and recognizing the threat that he posed. Naruto, despite his power, found himself outmatched by Itachi's genjutsu and the overwhelming strength of the Akatsuki duo. Jiraiya intervened, forcing Itachi and Kisame to retreat, but the encounter left a deep scar on Naruto. He realized just how far he still had to go and how dangerous the path ahead would be. Sasuke, who had also witnessed the encounter, became even more obsessed with gaining power, his hatred for Itachi consuming him and his jealousy of Naruto pushing him. When they finally told Tsunade, or rather found Tsunade, Naruto challenged her to a fight, demanding that she teach him medical ninjutsu. Tsunade, initially dismissive of Naruto's abilities, was shocked by his determination and the sheer power he wielded. She agreed to become the 5th Hokage after they convinced her, recognizing the potential within Naruto and the need to prepare the village for the battles to come. Now you might be asking, why exactly does Naruto want to learn medical ninjutsu? Well, he just wants to learn more, and he already does know medical jutsu. He just wants to enhance what he knows. And you also might be wondering why exactly Tsunade is agreeing so easily. Well, it's because she's already gotten over her fear of blood because of her encounters with Juno, and she's already not like drinking all day and stuff. Like, she's on the path of a normal person, or a normal shinobi even, and she just recognizes that like this might be what she was intended for. Back in Konoha, Sasuke's frustration had reached its peak. Orochimaru's followers, the Sound Four, had come to offer Sasuke the power he sought, promising him the strength to defeat his elder brother. Consumed by his desire for revenge, Sasuke left the village, abandoning both his friends and his home. Naruto, devastated by Sasuke's betrayal, refused to give up on his friend. He refused to lose Juno and Sasuke. He wouldn't let the same thing happen to him. He gathered a team of his closest allies, Shikamaru, Neji, Kiba, Choji, and Rock Lee, and with the permission of Lady Tsunade, set out to bring Sasuke back. The battles that followed were fierce and unforgiving. The Sound Four, each with their own unique and deadly abilities, pushed Naruto and his friends to their limits, but Naruto's determination, coupled with the strength of his teammates, allowed them to overcome the odds. Neji's battle with Kidomaru pushed him to the brink of death, but his Byakugan and unwavering will allowed him to triumph. Kiba and Akamaru, on the other hand, fought against Sakon and Yukon, testing their bond, but their teamwork eventually prevailed. Choji's battle with Jirobo goes the same as it did in canon, as he's forced to unlock his hidden strength, while Rock Lee, still recovering from his injuries, fought bravely against Kimimaro, buying Naruto and the others time. The final battle between Naruto and Sasuke at the Valley of the End was nothing short of legendary. Naruto, now wielding the power of the Nine Tails and his Sage Mode, fought with everything he had to bring Sasuke back, but Sasuke was driven by his hatred and the power of the Curse Mark, refusing to yield. Their clash of ideals and power shook the very earth beneath them, but in the end, Naruto's determination proved stronger. With the final devastating Rasengan, Naruto easily defeated Sasuke, but refused to kill him, instead choosing to bring him back to the village, unconscious, but alive. The mission had been a success, but it came at a great cost. Naruto had saved his friend, but the rift between them had deepened. Sasuke, though brought back to the village, was placed under strict watch, his future quite uncertain. Konoha was left to heal from the wounds of the past, but the threats that loomed on the horizon were ever present. One thing was certain: Naruto was no longer the same boy who had once dreamed of becoming Hokage. Now, although that may be a distant goal, he was now a warrior, a leader, and a beacon of hope for his friends in the village. And as long as he drew breath, he knew he would continue to fight for those he loved, no matter the cost. Sasuke, though haunted by his desire for revenge, began to see the world in a different light after Naruto had saved him, thanks to Naruto's unwavering belief, and Sakura's as well. Sakura, speaking of which, continued to grow stronger, determined to stand by her teammates and protect them. Team 7 had quite literally been through hell and back, but they had emerged stronger. Their bond continued to be unbreakable. Over the next 4 years, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura embarked on individual journeys that would push them beyond their limits. Each had their own goals and ambitions, but the bond between them remained a source of strength even as they trained separately. Under the watchful eyes of Jiraiya and the guidance of, Jiraiya, he mastered the art of Sage Mode, combining it with the power of the Nine Tails to create a unique transformation known as KCM Sage Mode, QB Chakra Mode Sage Mode. This form enhanced all of Naruto's physical abilities, granting him unprecedented speed, strength, and sensory perception. Naruto also perfected the Rasengan, developing variations such as the Wind Release Rasen Shuriken, a technique so powerful it could obliterate anything in its path. He learned to wield Wind Release in new ways, creating devastating combinations like the Wind Release Foxfire Maelstrom, which summoned a tornado of flames that incinerated everything within its radius. Additionally, Naruto mastered the art of summoning jutsu, calling forth powerful toads from Mount Myoboku, including Gamabunta, Gamakichi, and Gamaken. These summons not only aided him in battle, but also provided wisdom and guidance to his quest to become Hokage. He certainly now had the strength, he just now needed the wisdom and knowledge. Naruto's training was not just physical. He spent hours every day meditating and communing with the Nine Tails, forging a deeper bond with the beast. This connection allowed him to harness the full power of the tailed beast without losing control, creating a symbiotic relationship that made Naruto one of the most powerful shinobi in history at this point. Sasuke's Ascension, the Seeker of Power. While Naruto trained to protect the village, Sasuke sought to destroy his brother, Itachi Uchiha. Under the harsh tutelage of Kakashi, Sasuke delved into the darkest arts, learning a vast array of techniques that made him a force to be reckoned with. Sorry, I just said under the harsh tutelage of Kakashi. I meant Orochimaru. Now, some of you may be like, wait, what? I thought that Naruto beat him. Yes, Naruto beat him and brought Sasuke back to the village, but Sasuke still believed that Orochimaru would be his best bet at gaining power. Although it was dangerous, Naruto had Sasuke promise that he would just be using Orochimaru for power and return to the village in a few years. Under Orochimaru, Sasuke mastered his Sharingan and reached new heights, advancing his Sharingan to the Mangekyo Sharingan. With this power, he developed the Amaterasu, black flames that burned anything they touched, and the Tsukiyomi, a genjutsu so powerful it could trap his opponents in an illusion for what felt like days within a single second. He also learned Susanoo, a giant ethereal warrior that provided both offense and defense. Now, some of you may be wondering how he was able to get the Mangekyo Sharingan. The way that he gets it in this timeline is from Orochimaru putting extreme stress on him and constantly basically telling him that he's not strong enough, pushing steroids into his body, and trying to experiment on ways to artificially activate the Mangekyo Sharingan, and one day he would find a way. That's just going to have to be how it is for the sake of the what if. With this power, he developed the Amaterasu, black flames that burned anything they touched, and the Tsukiyomi, like I mentioned. But beyond his Sharingan abilities, Sasuke mastered lightning release techniques, refining the Chidori that he had learned under Kakashi's tutelage into multiple variations, such as the Chidori Nagashi, a defensive web of lightning, and the Kirin, a powerful lightning dragon that he could summon from the sky. He also developed what he called the Dark Chidori, a version enhanced by his curse mark, and the Chidori Senbon, a needle-like attack that he could use for precision strikes. Sasuke never neglected his physical training either. He mastered the art of Kenjutsu, becoming a swordsman of unparalleled skill. His katana, infused with lightning chakra, could cut through almost anything, and he combined his swordsmanship with his Sharingan to predict and counter his opponent's moves with deadly precision. Additionally, Sasuke learned the summoning jutsu, calling forth Aota, a giant snake, and several lesser serpents that aided him in combat. These creatures, combined with his incredible speed and agility, made Sasuke a nearly unstoppable force. As for Sakura, while Naruto and Sasuke pursued power, Sakura dedicated herself to mastering medical ninjutsu under Tsunade's guidance. She became a healer of unrivaled skill, capable of mending even the most grievous injuries with her mystical palm technique. But Sakura was not content with just being a healer. She wanted to protect her friends in battle as well. Sakura inherited Tsunade's monstrous strength, learning to focus her chakra into her fist and feet, creating devastating blows that could shatter boulders and craters in the ground, just like she had in the original timeline. She also mastered the chakra-enhanced strength, which allowed her to amplify her strikes even further, making her one of the strongest physical fighters in the Leaf Village. Sasuke also learned the Creation Rebirth, a technique that allowed... Sakura also learned... I keep saying Sasuke. I don't know why, but I'm talking about Sakura here. Sakura also learned the Creation Rebirth, a technique that allowed her to rapidly heal from any injury by accelerating her body's natural healing process. This technique, however, came with a cost. It shortened her lifespan considerably, making it a last resort in battle. In addition to her physical and medical training, Sakura honed her genjutsu abilities, developing techniques that could incapacitate or confuse her enemies. One of my biggest pet peeves is that Sakura is consistently shown to be proficient in genjutsu, or at least have a knack/talent for it early on in the series. She's not just going to have a talent for it here, she's going to be a master of genjutsu here as well. While not as proficient as someone like Sasuke in genjutsu, Sakura's skill was enough to give her an edge in battle, allowing her to fight on equal footing with even the strongest of opponents. As the years passed, the village of Konoha began to recover from the wounds of the past. Tsunade entered the role of the 5th Hokage, bringing a sense of stability and hope to the village. But dark clouds loomed on the horizon. The Akatsuki, a group of rogue ninja, had been hunting a tailed beast, and Naruto was their prime target as the last Biju. Word reached Konoha that Deidara, a member of the Akatsuki, had been spotted in a remote village. Knowing that Deidara was after the Nine Tails, Naruto made the decision to leave the village temporarily to track him down. He'd always planned on killing Deidara since he was, responsible for killing Juno, quote unquote, since Juno actually isn't dead. I obviously made that clear. But despite the protest of his friends and mentors, Naruto knew that he had to face this threat alone. He had grown stronger, but so had the enemies that sought to destroy him. The fate of the village and perhaps the world rested on his shoulder. As Naruto left the village, his thoughts were focused on the battles ahead. He knew that Deidara was just the beginning. The Akatsuki were a formidable force, and each member was an even deadlier opponent. But Naruto was ready. He had trained for this moment, and he would not falter. Sasuke, watching from the shadows, felt a mix of emotions. He had just returned home, stronger, and Naruto was already gone. Yes, Sasuke still betrays Orochimaru and ends up killing him in this timeline. The rivalry between Naruto and Sasuke had only intensified over the years, but so had their respect for each other. Naruto respected Sasuke for keeping his word, killing Orochimaru, and returning to the Leaf Village, and Sasuke respected Naruto for believing in him and growing stronger himself in a plethora of ways. Sakura, meanwhile, continued her training, determined to protect her friends in her village. She knew that the battles ahead would be difficult, and she wanted to be ready to face them. The stage was set, and the battles to come would shape the destiny of the ninja world.
The sun cast over the sky of the hidden sand village, casting long shadows over the dunes. Naruto, now a seasoned veteran shinobi, moved swiftly through the sand, his senses heightened by his sage mode, which he entered with ease. He could feel the sinister chakra of the Akatsuki members nearby, and his heart pounded with a mix of anger and determination. Deidara, the mad bomber, was targeting the sand village, and Naruto knew he had to stop him. If it was true and he was after Gaara, Naruto wouldn't allow it. Gaara was a friend, or at least someone that Naruto considered a comrade. As Naruto approached the village, he spotted Deidara high in the sky, riding one of his clay birds, preparing to launch an attack on the village. Without hesitation, Naruto stormed towards Deidara, forming a hand seal and activating the flying Rajin Jutsu, a technique he had learned and perfected over the years. In an instant, he appeared right behind Deidara. Deidara barely had time to react before Naruto slammed his Sage Art Master Rasengan into the clay bird, sending both it and Deidara crashing into the desert below. Deidara rolled to his feet, grinning wildly despite the surprise attack. "Art is an explosion!" Deidara shouted, sending a swarm of explosive clay birds towards Naruto that he molded in seconds. Naruto smirked, channeling the power of the Nine Tails to enhance his reflexes as his whiskers became a little bit more defined, but he hadn't actually used his chakra to envelop himself. With a blur of motion, he evaded the birds, moving faster than Deidara could keep up with. He closed the distance in an instant, delivering powerful roundhouse kicks to Deidara's side. These kicks sent him flying as Deidara grit his teeth, coughing up blood as he struggled to regain his footing. "You're fast, brat, but can you handle this?" He formed a series of hand seals, summoning a massive clay dragon that loomed over Naruto, ready to unleash a barrage of explosive attacks, but Naruto was unfazed. He activated his KCM Sage mode as a golden aura of chakra enveloped him, amplifying his strength and speed even further. "Let's see if your explosions can handle this, Deidara," Naruto shouted, forming a Rasen Shuriken in his hand. The spinning disc of wind chakra crackled with deadly energy as he hurled it at the dragon. The Rasen Shuriken tore through the dragon with ease, detonating it in a massive explosion that rocked the desert. Deidara was thrown back, barely managing to avoid the full force of the blast, but before he could regroup, Naruto was on him again, this time with a Sage Art Lava Release Rasengan, a swirling orb of molten chakra that he slammed into Deidara's chest. Deidara screamed in pain as the Rasengan tore through him, burning away his clay armor and leaving him defenseless. Despite this, Deidara pushed on as he was desperate. He reached for his chest, preparing to unleash his final, most devastating technique, C0, a suicide attack that would destroy everything in a massive explosion and radius. But Naruto was faster. In a flash, he delivered a devastating punch to Deidara's face, knocking him out cold before he could even activate the technique. Deidara's body crumpled to the ground, lifeless. Naruto stood over him, breathing heavily but victorious. With Deidara now unconscious, Naruto walked over to him, unsheathing his blade and letting out a sigh. "And now that marks 2. Naruto sliced off Deidara's head as it fell to his feet. It was then that Naruto could feel another dark chakra within the village. It was Sasori, the puppet master. Without wasting any time, Naruto used the flying Rajin Jutsu to teleport as close as he could to the heart of the village, where he found Gaara locked in battle with Sasori. Sasori was perched atop one of his puppets, his expression cold and calculating as he manipulated his deadly creations with expert precision, and he had yet to reveal his true red-haired form. Gaara the Kazekage was holding his own, using his sand to defend against the relentless assault of puppets, but Naruto could see that Sasori was wearing him down. "Gaara!" Naruto shouted as he appeared beside him. "I'm here to help you, got it?" Naruto and Gaara nodded, looking at each other, as Gaara was very grateful for the support. "Be careful, Naruto. Sasori is dangerous." Sasori's eyes narrowed as he sized up Naruto. "So the Leaf's Nine-Tails brat has arrived. This should be interesting." With a flick of his fingers, Sasori unleashed a torrent of puppets,
each armed with deadly weapons and traps. It was also here that he revealed his true form. Naruto and Gaara moved in perfect sync, Naruto using his Sage Art Wind-style Gale Palm to blow the puppets back, while Gaara used his sand to crush them. Sasori smirked. "You think you can handle all of them? Let's see how you deal with this." He summoned his most powerful technique, the Red Secret Technique, performance of 100 puppets. Keep in mind, Sasori knows that Deidara has been taken out by Naruto and will stop at nothing to, try and kill, or rather take out both Gaara and Naruto. 100 puppets swarmed around Naruto and Gaara, each one a deadly weapon in Sasori's hand. "Once I've killed you both, I will turn you both into great puppets. Screw the Akatsuki!" Naruto grit his teeth, knowing this was going to be a tough fight. He activated his KCM Sage mode again, his chakra flaring as he prepared to take on the horde. "Gaara, cover me!" Gaara nodded, raising a massive wall of sand to block the initial wave of puppets. Naruto darted forward, weaving between the puppets with incredible speed and precision, delivering precise attacks to their weak points with his Rasengan and chakra-enhanced strength. Despite their efforts, the sheer number of puppets began to slowly overwhelm them. Sasori's puppets were relentless, and even Gaara's sand defenses were starting to falter. But Naruto wasn't about to give up. He formed a hand seal, creating hundreds of shadow clones that spread out across the battlefield. Each clone engaged a puppet using their own Rasengan, variations, and taijutsu to dismantle them piece by piece. As the battle raged on, Sasori realized that Naruto was not the same shinobi he had expected. "You've improved, at least considering the intel that I was given. But you'll still fall before my art. That was the one thing that I could get behind Deidara with. Art truly is miraculous." Sasori unveiled his true body, revealed that he had turned himself into a puppet. His body bristled with hidden weapons and traps, and he attacked with a speed and ferocity that caught Naruto off guard. But Naruto quickly adapted, using his Sage Art Frog Kata to counter Sasori's attacks. He landed a powerful blow to Sasori's core, cracking the puppet body. Sasori staggered back, his face twisted in anger. "You're done," Naruto shouted, forming a Sage Art Supermassive Rasengan in each hand. "Now, Sage Art Double Supermassive Rasengan!" With a roar, he slammed the Rasengans into Sasori, obliterating his puppet body in a massive explosion of chakra. When the dust settled, Sasori lay broken on the ground, his puppet body shattered beyond repair. Naruto stood over him, breathing heavily but victorious. Gaara approached, his expression one of relief and gratitude. "Thank you, Naruto. You saved my village." Naruto smiled, though there was a hint of sadness in his eyes. "That's what friends are for, Gaara." With Deidara and Sasori defeated, Naruto bid farewell to Gaara in the Sand Village, promising to visit again soon and check in on Gaara. Gaara in turn vowed to stand by Naruto's side in the battles to come, and eagerly waited for him to become Hokage. As Naruto made his way back to the Hidden Leaf Village, he couldn't shake the feeling that the battles ahead would only get tougher. But he believed in himself, and he truly believed that he would be strong enough to take on virtually any challenge. With that, Naruto returned to the Hidden Leaf Village with a sense of accomplishment, but the weight of his responsibilities continued to press heavily on his shoulders. The village had grown accustomed to his increased strength and abilities, and his reputation as a formidable shinobi and possibly the next Hokage of Konoha spread far and wide. He was now a beacon of hope and strength, but he also felt the burden of his new role. He knew that his journey to becoming Hokage was far from over, and even if all the people and all of the shinobi believed in him, it really wouldn't be that simple. The Hidden Leaf Village greeted Naruto with cheers and relief. His success in the Sand Village and his takedown of Deidara and Sasori was a showcase of how far he had grown in strength. His return was quite literally met with celebrations, but Naruto's mind was focused on the next steps. Tsunade, the 5th Hokage, welcomed Naruto back with a warm smile. "You've done well, Naruto. I'm proud of your progress,
but we can't rest on our laurels. The Akatsuki are still out there, and we need to remain vigilant. Naruto nodded. I understand, Lady Tsunade. I'm ready to face whatever comes next. Naruto continued his rigorous training, focusing on honing his abilities and preparing for the challenges ahead. With that being said, Sakura and Sasuke also did the same. As Naruto continued his training, he received news of a mission. Intelligence reports indicated that one of the remaining Akatsuki members, Hidan, was planning an attack on the Hidden Leaf Village with Kakuzu. Naruto knew that this was a critical opportunity to eliminate another threat before they could cause further damage. With his team assembled, Sasuke, Sakura, and a few select shinobi from the village set out to track down Hidan. The search took them across various terrains, testing their skills and endurance, as their journey led them to a remote, desolate area where Hidan was believed to be hiding and plotting. When they finally encountered Hidan and Kakuzu, the fight began in earnest. Hidan, with his immortality and his dark rituals, was a dangerous adversary, as Naruto led the charge using his Sage Art Dragon's Roar to create a massive shockwave that disrupted Hidan's ritual. Hidan roared in anger, his curse marking him as a target. You think you can stop me? I'm invincible. Sasuke, with his newly acquired techniques, engaged Hidan in close combat. He used Chidori and Amaterasu to assault Hidan from all angles, but Hidan's immortality made him a challenging opponent. Sakura supported her teammates with precise strikes and her powerful Cherry Blossom impact attacks, while Naruto used his Nine-Tails chakra to enhance both his speed and power. Despite their efforts, Hidan's immortality made him a tough nut to crack. As for Kakuzu, well, he wasn't doing anything and was purely watching the fight, waiting for an opportunity to take one of them down. Naruto realized that they needed a strategy to counter both Hidan and Kakuzu. We need to find a way to stop them both First, we need to stop Hidan from performing his rituals. Focus on disrupting his movements. Sakura, keep an eye on Kakuzu while we focus on defeating Hidan. Sakura and Sasuke nodded. I'll handle that, Sasuke. Naruto unleashed a barrage of Rasen Shuriken and Rasengan attacks, forcing Hidan to defend himself and preventing him from completing his rituals. Sakura kept an eye on Kakuzu, making it almost impossible for him to enter the fight unnoticed. Sasuke used his Susanoo to shield his teammates and launched powerful attacks, while Sakura used her enhanced strength to deliver crushing blows to Hidan. The battle was long and grueling, but Naruto and his team's teamwork eventually paid off. They managed to overwhelm Hidan, and their combined efforts easily took down Kakuzu, and slowly took out his hearts. With Hidan defeated, and Kakuzu nearly defeated, Naruto decided to go all out and take out Kakuzu. Slowly but surely he took down his hearts, until Kakuzu, long-haired and all, was all that left. Was all that was left. Kakuzu asked Naruto if he was truly prepared to carry on this path of vengeance. Naruto paused. None of the other Akatsuki members he had taken out, not Deidara, not Hidan, not Kisame, not Sasori, had asked him if he was truly prepared to do this. But Naruto smiled. He will avenge Juno at all cost. That's what Sasuke told Kakuzu before Naruto delivered the decisive, killing strike. The victory was a testament to their growth and strength that they had developed over years, and the synergy that Team 7 had created with one another and their bond. But even as they celebrated, Naruto could never settle down because he knew his journey wasn't over. But the Hidden Leaf did enjoy a period of relative peace, but that tranquility was shattered when intelligence reports surfaced about a rogue shinobi from the Cloud Village wreaking havoc across the Land of Fire. The shinobi, known as the Merchant of Sleep, had earned a fearsome reputation for his ability to incapacitate his enemies with a dangerous jutsu that could induce deep magical sleep. Okay, I realize that I'm messing up so many words right now. Genuinely, it's because I have not slept, and it's 9:23 a.m. Where I'm at right now. So genuinely, if there's a lot of mistakes, I apologize. No, I'm not gonna edit them out because I'd like the video to be authentic, or as authentic as possible. But I'm just letting you know.
Tsunade assigned Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura to track down and apprehend this rogue shinobi from, the hidden Cloud Village. The mission was deemed an A rank due to the rogue's formidable skills and the potential threat that he could pose. The team set out, confident in their abilities and determined to bring the quote-unquote Merchant of Sleep to justice. The journey took them deep into a remote, forested area. Their search led them to an abandoned, eerie-looking mansion, a potential hideout for the elusive rogue ninja. The team was cautious, but also confident in their combined strength and abilities. Upon entering the mansion, they encountered the Merchant of Sleep, a man named Kaworu Saito. Saito was a tall, gaunt figure with piercing eyes and an aura of sinister calm. His jutsu, known as Sleep's Embrace, could induce a deep magical sleep in his targets, leaving them vulnerable and defenseless. "Welcome, Shinobi of the Leaf," Saito said, his voice smooth and chilling. "I've been expecting you." Naruto and Sasuke, both brimming with confidence, charged at Saito without hesitation. Naruto activated his Sage Mode and Sasuke unleashed a series of powerful Chidori attacks. Saito, however, was more than prepared. He swiftly used his jutsu, and in a matter of moments, Naruto and Sasuke were overwhelmed. Saito's jutsu proved far more potent than the team had anticipated. Naruto and Sasuke ended up falling into a deep, magical slumber, their bodies frozen in a state of comatose paralysis. Sakura, witnessing the severity of the situation, quickly assessed the threat. She realized that brute force alone would not defeat Saito. She needed to use her wits. Saito, seeing Sakura as the last obstacle, prepared to deal with her next. "You're alone now. How will you fare against me?" Sakura, her mind racing, used her intelligence and tactical skills to counter Saito's jutsu. She utilized her Cherry Blossom impact to create powerful shockwaves, disrupting Saito's concentration. With precise strikes and quick thinking, she managed to break down Saito's defenses. In a desperate bid to stop him, Sakura devised a plan. She realized that the key to defeating Saito was to prevent him from performing his jutsu, which needed a little bit of time to be activated. She used her enhanced strength and speed to outmaneuver him and eventually delivered a powerful punch before he could use his jutsu once more and knock her out, similarly to how he did to Sasuke and Naruto. With a final decisive blow, she incapacitated him, ensuring that he could no longer use his jutsu. With Saito defeated, Sakura carried Naruto and Sasuke back to the village, aided by the medical ninjas that came on the mission with them, who also captured Saito and brought him back to the village. Tsunade immediately took charge of the situation, attempting various medical techniques to revive Naruto and Sasuke from their comatose state, but despite her best efforts, their conditions remained unchanged. Tsunade's concern grew as she observed the comatose state of her two top shinobi. The village was in a state of anxiety, with their two most powerful young heroes incapacitated, Naruto and Sasuke. Tsunade's frustration was palpable as she worked tirelessly, trying every possible medical technique to bring them back to consciousness. As Naruto and Sasuke lay in their hospital beds, comatose and paralyzed, the Hidden Leaf Village was about to face one of its most tumultuous, devastating challenges yet. Pain, the leader of the Akatsuki, had learned of Naruto and Sasuke's incapacitated state and saw this as an opportune moment to launch an attack. Pain's reasoning for the assault was clear. With Naruto and Sasuke out of commission, the village was left vulnerable. Pain, aware of the village's strategic importance, decided to strike and cripple its defenses. The skies darkened as Pain's forces descended upon the village. His sixth pass of Pain wreaked havoc and ran amok, using powerful jutsu and destructive techniques. Buildings crumbled and chaos ensued as the villagers scrambled to defend their home. Pain, surveying the destruction he had caused, decided to use his most devastating technique. With a menacing presence, he gathered his chakra and prepared to unleash the Shinra Tensei, the almighty push. The air crackled with energy as Pain's eyes glowed with a dark intensity. With a wave of his hand, Pain unleashed the full force of his jutsu, a massive shockwave erupting, tearing through the village and causing widespread devastation. Buildings were flattened, and the village's defenses were obliterated. As the dust settled, Pain stood amidst the ruin, a grim satisfaction evident on his face.
The Hidden Leaf village had been severely damaged, and the threat of further destruction loomed large. The assault had left the village in ruins, and the situation was dire. Naruto and Sasuke, still comatose, were unable to aid their comrades in this time of crisis or stop Pain from destroying the village. Sakura, along with the remaining shinobi, fought valiantly to defend her home. But the scale of Pain's attack was so overwhelming that nothing they did would work, and Sakura eventually fell to her knees. As the Hidden Leaf now lay ruined, the villagers struggled to fend off Pain's relentless assaults, and despite their best efforts, it seemed as though their beloved village was bound to be annihilated. Amidst the chaos, Sakura's heartache and frustration boiled over. She stood amidst the wreckage, her tears streaming down her face, and cried out to anyone who could hear. "Please, someone, anyone, we need your help. We need heroes to save us." Her anguished cry echoed throughout the shattered streets, carrying her desperate hope into the fray. Just as it seemed that all hope was lost, a sudden burst of energy surged through the air. In a flash, Naruto and Sasuke appeared, their presence lighting up the hearts of all those who were alive to see it. Naruto, having awakened from his comatose state with his newfound strength, stood tall, his Sage Mode activated and his nine-tailed chakra running rampant and swirling around him. He was irritated, angry, and upset that all of this had happened. Sasuke, equally determined, was now equipped with an array of new techniques, and his power, being the Mangekyo Sharingan, was ready to face Pain and end his reign of terror. As the two approached Pain, the 6 paths of Pain, each embodying a different aspect of his power, stood ready to meet them. Naruto would take 3, and Sasuke would take the other 3. Pain, observing their return, prepared to unleash his full might. "You've finally awakened, Nine-Tails." "And Sasuke Uchiha," Pain said, his voice resonating with cold authority. "But your arrival will not change the outcome. For you shall know pain." The battle began with a fierce clash. Naruto and Sasuke's combined strength was a formidable force, and they quickly engaged Pain's 6 bodies in an intense fight. Naruto unleashed his Sage Art Dragon's Roar, sending a devastating shockwave through the battlefield. Sasuke, with his enhanced Sharingan, used Amaterasu and Kirin in tandem to attack Pain's bodies from multiple angles. Pain responded with his own formidable abilities, summoning destructive forces and unleashing powerful Shinra Tensei strikes, with the village being caught in the crossfire as Naruto and Sasuke pushed themselves to their limits to counter Pain's devastating techniques. They worked in near-perfect harmony, with Naruto using his Sage Mode to enhance his speed and strength, while Sasuke developed a range of powerful jutsu, including Susanoo and Enton Kakatsuchi, to counter Pain's attacks. Pain's abilities were pushed to their limits as he unleashed Shabaku Tensei, creating a massive gravitational sphere that threatened to crush everything beneath it. Naruto used his enhanced Sage abilities, and Sasuke with his Sharingan worked together to destroy the sphere before it could complete its formation. Despite their best efforts, Pain continued to challenge them with his relentless attacks. He used Bansho Tenin to pull them in, attempting to isolate and overwhelm them. Naruto and Sasuke, barely keeping up, were pushed to the brink of exhaustion as they fought against Pain's onslaught. The fight continued with relentless intensity. Naruto and Sasuke, bruised and battered, displayed their unwavering resolve for their village. Naruto used his Nine-Tails chakra to bolster his strength, while Sasuke unleashed his full arsenal of Mangekyo Sharingan techniques. Their combined efforts eventually broke through Pain's defenses, leading to a final climactic battle. Naruto with a powerful Rasengan and Sasuke with a devastating Chidori simultaneously struck at Pain, overwhelming him. Pain's 6 bodies were finally defeated, and the village was left in a state of stunned silence. With Pain defeated, Naruto and Sasuke set out to track down the real Pain, or otherwise known as Nagato Uzumaki, the true mastermind behind the attack. Using a technique similar to what Naruto employed in the original timeline, he stabs himself with one of Pain's rods, which allows him to locate Nagato. They arrived at Nagato's hidden lair, where the once formidable leader of the Akatsuki lay weakened. Naruto and Sasuke confronted him, their expressions a mix of exhaustion and determination. Naruto, seeing the two heroes before him, realized the extent of their strength and resolve. I said Naruto there, I meant Nagato. Nagato was looking at Sasuke and
Naruto was like, okay, like I'm going to use the Rene Rebirth, like they've come this far. A technique that could revive all those who had fallen during the battle. As Nagato performed the ritual, the fallen Leaf Shinobi were brought back to life, as well as all of the civilians and villagers who were killed in the attack. The village began to recover from the devastation. With the village saved and casualties revived, Naruto and Sasuke felt a weight lifted off their shoulders. They hadn't been there to protect the village because they were comatose, but in the end, everything all worked out. As they began their journey back to the Hidden Leaf Village, their victory seemed complete, and the weight of their achievement was a heavy, bittersweet reward for their efforts. As they neared the village, a sudden ominous presence made itself known. Out of the shadows, Obito Uchiha emerged, his appearance cloaked in darkness, his eyes now bearing the mark of the legendary Madara Uchiha, glowing with a malevolent intensity. "I am Madara Uchiha," he declared, his voice filled with a sinister confidence. "The world has only seen the beginning of my true power." Using his Kamui, Obito transported himself effortlessly into the midst of their, path. His intentions were quite clear. The revelation of his identity as the legendary Madara Uchiha brought a new wave of tension and uncertainty to both Naruto and Sasuke. The battle was far from over if this was Madara. Naruto and Sasuke, still recovering from their recent battle, began to try and prepare themselves for the challenge that lay ahead, exhausted, not only because they had just awoken from a comatose state and then fought pain, but because, they fought pain. As Naruto and Sasuke, exhausted but victorious, geared up to fight Obito, the villagers, still reeling from Pain's attack, looked on in fear and confusion as Madara's presence filled the air with a heavy sense of dread. I'm going to refer to him as Madara, but we know it's Obito. Naruto and Sasuke, despite their fatigue, steeled themselves for the confrontation ahead, knowing that they very well may not survive. Just as Obito's sinister aura began to envelop the field, a sudden puff of smoke materialized at the center of the commotion. From the smoke emerged a figure, both familiar and astonishing. Juno Namikaze, the Red Fang of the Hidden Leaf. His appearance was striking, his form clad in an intricate outfit that hinted at his elevated status and power. His eyes glinted with the same fierce determination that had once defined him as a person. Naruto's eyes widened in shock and disbelief. Uncle Juno? You're alive?" Juno, now radiating a formidable aura, met Naruto's gaze with a nod. "Yes, I've returned, Naruto, and it's time to deal with this threat." Without hesitation, Juno launched himself into the fray, his body moving with the grace and precision of a seasoned warrior. "My brother told me all about you, Madara Uchiha. It was you who was responsible for the Nine-Tails attack, and for the burden placed on both I and my nephew. You are responsible for my brother's death, and I vowed to avenge him." He then used the Flying Raijin Jutsu to appear instantly beside Obito, striking with incredible speed. The moment Juno appeared, he aimed a powerful blow at the phasing Obito, managing to land a hit despite Obito's ability to phase through solid matter. Madara, caught off guard by Juno's sudden and powerful attack, recoiled in surprise. "You're still alive? And stronger than I anticipated. I had believed that the Akatsuki members had dealt with you, or at least pushed you until the brink of death and you would succumb to your injuries." Juno didn't waste a moment. With each teleportation, he kept Madara on the defensive, forcing him to react rather than attack. The battle was fierce and dynamic, with Juno's mastery of Flying Raijin Jutsu at this point allowing him to strike from unpredictable angles and push Madara into a corner. Despite his ability to phase and evade, Juno's relentless assault pushed him to the brink. As the fight continued, Juno managed to land a series of decisive blows on Madara, using Sage Heart, Lightning Dragon's Roar, to overwhelm him. Obito realized he was outmatched, and with the fight turning increasingly unfavorable, and the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, as well as Sasuke Uchiha, there to provide support,
he knew that he had to retreat. "This isn't over," Madara said, his voice dripping with malice. "I will be back when the time is right. Don't you worry, Juno." In a burst of smoke, Obito vanished, leaving Juno standing amidst the wreckage. Juno, breathing heavily from the intense battle, turned to Naruto and Sasuke. "We need to get back to the village at once," Juno said, urgency in his voice. "There might be more trouble." Juno, Naruto, and Sasuke rushed back to the village as fast as they could. As they arrived, the sight of the village in its damaged state was both sobering and motivating. Naruto looked at Juno with awe and relief. "Juno, you're incredible. How did you survive? And where did you get all this power?" Juno gave a small, reassuring smile. "It's a long story. But for now, we need to focus on repairing the damage and preparing for whatever comes next. We've managed to push Madara back, but we can't let our guard down." "And hey, what do you mean, where did you get all this power from? You act like I wasn't strong before I died on ya." Naruto and Juno laughed together, as Sasuke couldn't help but feel like he was on the outside of the inside joke. Upon returning, Juno, Naruto, and Sasuke were greeted by Tsunade, who had been anxiously awaiting their return. See, in this timeline, she's not put in a comatose herself after using Katsuyu. Seeing Juno alive, she's just rather very tired. Seeing Juno alive and well was a significant relief to her, though the gravity of the situation was far from over. "We'll need to address the damage and rally our forces," Tsunade said, her voice resolute. "Thank you, Juno. Your return has come at a crucial moment." Juno nodded. "I'll do whatever it takes to protect this village. We fought too hard to let it fall now." With Juno's return and Madara's temporary retreat, the village began to recover from the recent turmoil. Naruto, Sasuke, and Juno, now reunited under the same banner, began to prepare for the challenges that lay ahead. They understood that the battle against Madara and the impending threats were far from over. The village's recovery was just the beginning of a new chapter in their ongoing struggle. Following this turmoil, the Hidden Leaf village found itself in a period of both recovery and transition. Not peace, though. Tsunade, still weakened from the battle against Pain, made a pivotal decision to step down from her position as 5th Hokage. Her decision was driven by the need for rest and recovery, and she recognized the importance of having a leader who could immediately rally and unify the village during these challenging times. In the midst of the village's rebuilding efforts, Juno Namikaze emerged as a beacon of hope for the people, alongside, of course, Naruto and Sasuke. More specifically, Juno, for his remarkable return and his formidable display of power against Obito, having won the support of both the villagers and the higher-ups within the ninja community. After considerable deliberation and recognition of his capabilities, Juno was appointed as the 6th Hokage. His appointment marked a significant shift in leadership and instilled a renewed sense of purpose within the village, having become Hokage in the place of Danjo Shimura. Naruto and Sasuke, now experienced and resolute, stood by Juno's side as he assumed his new role. The village buzzed with anticipation as Juno prepared to lead them through the trials ahead. His leadership, coupled with the support of Naruto and Sasuke, promised a new era of strength and unity. As part of the ongoing effort to address the rising threats and solidify alliances, Juno, Naruto, and Sasuke prepared for the upcoming 5 Kage Summit. The summit was a crucial event aimed at discussing the recent disturbances and forging a unified stance against common threats. During their journey to the summit, Juno took the opportunity to share his experiences with Naruto and Sasuke, providing insights into his actions over the past few years. He recounted his efforts to strengthen his skills, protect the village, and uncover the truth about not only his heritage, but also revealing that he possessed Sharingan that belonged, or rather once belonged, to Fugaku Uchiha. Sasuke was taken aback. "Fugaku's eyes?" Sasuke echoed, his voice laced with shock. "You mean you're half Uchiha?" Juno nodded solemnly. "Yes, I'm half Uchiha. I've carried the burden of those eyes and the legacy they represent. It's part of who I am now, and it's why I've fought so hard to protect this village." Sasuke's expression shifted from shock to contemplation. This revelation added another layer to the complex web of his own legacy in the Uchiha clan's history. Juno continued. But then Sasuke had a question. Wait, where exactly are your eyes? Naruto giggled. Should I tell him or you? Well, you go for it, Naruto. Those eyes that once belonged to Juno are firmly placed in mine. Wait, you mean to tell me that you have Sharingan? And I haven't known this entire time? Naruto, how could you? Naruto then activated his Sharingan, showing Sasuke. Well, the fact is they're quite chakra taxing. And I do use them quite often. How do you think I got to the Sand Village so quickly? I used one of the Mangekyo Sharingan abilities. Oh, I see. This is all hurting my head, but at least it makes a little bit more sense. The 5 Kage summit commenced with high expectations. The Kage assembled to address the escalating threats and coordinate their strategies. Juno, as the newly appointed 6th Hokage of Konoha, was accompanied by Naruto and Sasuke, who served as his bodyguards and representatives. The summit proceeded with the usual discussions and negotiations, without the disruptive influence of Sasuke's vengeful ambitions. Why? Because Sasuke's, good in this timeline at this point. The meeting was more focused and productive. The Kage debated strategies and alliances, seeking to strengthen their collective defense against the rising threats. However, the summit took a dramatic turn when a dark presence enveloped the room. Madara Uchiha, revealing himself in his true form, made a shocking entrance. Greetings, esteemed Kage, Madara declared, his voice echoing with an ominous tone. I am Madara Uchiha, and the time has come for the world to recognize the power of the Uchiha clan. I declare war on the 5 great ninja villages. Madara's declaration sent shockwaves through the summit, igniting fear and uncertainty amongst the Kage. The Kage, now faced with an imminent threat, scrambled to respond. Juno, Naruto, and Sasuke understood that the fate of the ninja world rested on their shoulders. As the declaration of war reverberated across the ninja world, the Hidden Leaf and its allies mobilized their forces, and the war that ensued was intense and far-reaching, with battles erupting across various fronts. Juno, as the 6th Hokage, took charge of the village's defense and strategic planning. His leadership was marked by decisive actions and a relentless drive to protect his people. With Naruto and Sasuke at his side, he orchestrated the village's efforts and coordinated with other allied forces. As for Sasuke's role, Sasuke, despite his complex past, remained steadfast in his commitment to protecting the village. His role in the war was crucial as he utilized his formidable abilities to repel enemy forces and support his comrades. His interactions with Juno, particularly after learning about his Uchiha heritage, had solidified his resolve to fight for a greater cause. During the course of the war, Itachi Uchiha, who had been initially aligned with Madara, made a surprising turn. His personal experiences and interactions with Naruto and Sasuke led him to question his allegiance. And of course we know, Itachi wasn't really evil. Realizing the true nature of Madara's plans, Itachi defected from Madara's side and joined forces with Konoha once more. Itachi's defection brought a significant shift in the war's dynamics. His skills and knowledge of the enemy proved invaluable as he fought alongside the allied forces, providing critical support and insight. It would also be at this time that Tsunade began healing Itachi of his sickness, similarly to how she had healed Juno. The war reached its climax with a series of fierce battles. Juno, Naruto, Sasuke, and Itachi faced off against Madara, the real Madara, and his forces in a series of intense confrontations. The battle showcased the full extent of their abilities, with Juno's mastery of his unique techniques, Naruto's prowess in Sage Mode, Sasuke's advanced Sharingan abilities, and Itachi's formidable skills coming to the forefront. Keep in mind, no 10 tails, because B and Naruto never get got in any way. Madara, despite his immense power, faced relentless opposition from the united forces. The culmination of the war saw a climactic battle between Juno and Madara, where Juno's strategic acumen and combat prowess were put to the test. The tension in the air was palpable as the forces of the allied shinobi stood at the precipice of the final battle. The battlefield was a desolate wasteland, scarred from countless skirmishes,
yet it would soon bear witness to the ultimate showdown. Madara Uchiha, the legendary figure who had once been a shadow of myth, now stood in the flesh, his presence commanding awe and fear. Facing him with resolve etched into his every feature was Juno Namikaze, the newly appointed 6th Hokage, the brother of the 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze, and an Uchiha by blood. Juno embodied the best of both worlds, his golden hair whipped in the wind and his piercing blue eyes reminiscent of his father. Met Madara's Rinnegan with unflinching determination. Madara's lips curled into a smirk, his voice dripping with condescension. "So you're the one they chose to lead the Leaf? A child with his father's name in a borrowed Sharingan. You think you can stand against the might of Madara Uchiha?" Juno's response was a calm, yet firm. "I don't just think, I know I can." With that, the battle began. Juno vanished in a blur, the flying Raijin technique allowing him to close the distance between them in an instant. A kunai flew from his hand, its trajectory aiming for Madara's throat, but the legendary Uchiha's reflexes were sharp. With a simple flick of his wrist, he deflected the kunai, but Juno appeared behind him, his hand glowing with Rasengan. "Rasengan!" Juno roared as he drove the swirling orb of chakra toward Madara's back, one of the many techniques that he had learned and mastered during his time away from Naruto. But Madara, ever the strategist, had anticipated the move. In a flash, he activated his Susanoo, a skeletal arm emerging to block the Rasengan. The impact sent a shockwave ripping across the battlefield, but Madara remained unscathed. "So you do have some skill," Madara acknowledged, his eyes narrowing. "But you'll need more than parlor tricks to defeat me." Madara countered with a swift combination of taijutsu. He was a seasoned warrior that had fought in the Warring States time, and it was evident in every strike, his movements fluid and precise. Juno matched him blow for blow, his own skills honed to perfection. The two clashed at blinding speed, each strike sending tremors through the ground beneath them. The shinobi who watched could barely keep up with their movements, as fist met fist and chakra flared like wildfire. Realizing that conventional attacks wouldn't suffice, Juno decided to ante up. He jumped back, forming hand seals at a speed that left after images. "Kyatan, Gokakayu no Jutsu!" he shouted, expelling a massive fireball that roared towards Madara. Madara responded in kind, weaving his own seals with a smirk. "Kyatan, Goka Makakyo!" The two flames collided in midair, creating an inferno that consumed everything in its path. The heat was so intense that the surrounding shinobi were forced to retreat further, the very earth beneath the fire liquefying into molten lava. But Juno was not done. As the flames raged, he activated his Sharingan, the Tomoe spinning rapidly as he analyzed Madara's every move. In a flash, Juno teleported above Madara, unleashing a barrage of kunai laced with explosive tags. Madara's Susanoo flared to life again, deflecting the projectiles, but this time Juno was prepared. He appeared within the protective ribs of the Susanoo, holding a kunai to Madara's throat. "Flying Raijin isn't about speed, Madara. It's about precision." Madara's eyes widened slightly in surprise, but then he smirked. "Impressive. But you're not the only one who mastered space-time ninjutsu." In an instant, Madara activated the Rinnegan, using the Bansho Tenin to pull Juno into the air towards him. Juno quickly responded with Flying Raijin, teleporting away, but Madara was relentless. With a gesture, he summoned a massive meteor from the sky, sending it hurling down towards Juno. Juno's eyes widened as he saw the massive rock descending, but he remained calm. "This is it," he thought. With a flash, Juno teleported to the base of the meteor, placing a Flying Raijin seal on it before teleporting it far out into the sea, where it crashed harmlessly. The effort left Juno panting, but he was far from defeated. Knowing that he needed to end this quickly, Juno channeled the power of both his Uchiha and Namikaze heritage. He activated the Mangekyo Sharingan that he had taken from the lifeless body of Fugaku years ago. His vision sharp and now acclimated to the eyes as if they were his own, and his perception of time seemingly slowing as he focused on Madara. Madara, recognizing the shift in Juno's chakra, chuckled. "So you finally decided to use it." Show me what you can do with those borrowed eyes. Juno's Mangekyo Sharingan blazed with power as he launched his attack. He unleashed the Matarasu, the black flames roaring towards Madara, but Madara's Renegon allowed him to absorb the flames, leaving him unharmed. Juno didn't stop there. He weaved hand signs and slammed his hands on the ground, summoning a massive toad from Mount Miyaboku. The toad lunged at Naruto, but the Uchiha summoned his perfect Susanoo, a colossal armored figure towering over the battlefield. With a single slash, the toad was dispelled, but it had served its purpose. Juno used the distraction to appear in front of Madara, driving a Rasengan enhanced with Senjutsu into the Susanoo. The impact was enormous, cracking the Susanoo's armor and forcing Madara back a few steps. Madara's expression shifted to one of mild annoyance. "Enough games," he muttered. With a wave of his hand, Madara summoned the 9 tails, or at least attempted to. But it was to no avail. Nothing came. The flying Raijin seals that Juno had placed all over the battlefield earlier lit up, creating a network of teleportation points that allowed Juno to move at speeds beyond comprehension. The battle reached its zenith as Juno and Madara engaged in a high-speed, high-stakes duel that tested both of their limits. Juno, with his Mangekyo Sharingan, could anticipate Madara's movements, countering each attack with precision, but Madara's Renegon granted him abilities that Juno had to constantly adapt to, making the battle a deadly chess game. As they clashed, Juno activated his trump card Susanoo. The ethereal warrior formed around him in a teal color, its translucent blue armor shimmering with power. But unlike Madara's, Juno's Susanoo was imbued with the Namikaze speed, making it an impossible target to hit. The two Susanoo warriors clashed, their blades meeting with such force that the shockwaves leveled mountains and parted the clouds. The sheer intensity of their battle was felt miles away, as the earth itself trembled beneath their power. Naruto and Sasuke couldn't help but watch in awe. But Juno had one last trick. Gathering all his remaining chakra, he fused his Susanoo with the power of the flying Raijin, creating a technique that had never been seen before. In a flash, he teleported within Madara's Susanoo, driving a Rasengan directly into Madara's chest. Madara gasped as the Rasengan tore through his chest, the force of the impact shattering his Susanoo and sending him crashing to the floor beneath him. Juno stood over him, breathing heavily but victorious. Madara, lying on the ground, looked up at Juno with a mixture of disbelief and respect. "To think I would be defeated by someone like you," he muttered. Juno knelt down, his voice calm but firm. "It's over, Madara. The world you seek to create will never come to pass." Madara closed his eyes, a faint smile on his lips. "Perhaps. But remember this, Juno Namikaze. There will always be another threat, another darkness waiting in the shadows." With those final words, Madara's body disintegrated, leaving Juno standing alone on the battlefield. As the dust settled and the sun began to rise, Juno, Naruto, and Sasuke returned to the Hidden Leaf Village. Their victory, hard won but complete. The village welcomed them as heroes and entered an era of prosperity. Naruto would eventually become appointed the 7th Hokage of Konoha, as Juno would finally settle down with a woman, which happened to be Shizune. Sasuke acted as Shadow Hokage to Naruto, but only after he cleared things up with Itachi after the war. Itachi told him everything. The only difference here is that Sasuke never gets the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan because he never takes Itachi's eyes. Itachi is healed of his sickness and also begins to live his own life in Konoha. With that being said, I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. I know there were a lot of mistakes later into the video, and I really apologize for that. I'm so tired right now. It's 10:23 when I'm recording this AM Eastern Standard Time. I haven't slept since yesterday this time. So yeah, anyway, yeah. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Share the video to a friend who likes videos or anime content in general. And with that being said, this has been Rami X, and Rami X out.